Hey, Toby.
Christine, hey Richard. Oh my God, that was like a,
What happened?
I have no idea. The number for the meeting that
Was it correct?
I left, no, it was correct. I left Havoc. I chose to leave this meeting, and I went to the Slam workshop meeting and
Yeah.
then alone, and I was alone. And then Bree and Tree finally showed up, which I had emailed them the links. So they just came right in. No one else ever showed up.
I wonder if you had an old link in some way.
No, I didn't. I checked. It's the same link that was in the master list, and that was.
So
But
no one came. I did email everybody in my session like a half an hour beforehand, and that I think helped get people in.
what happened was it had something to do with Havoc not ending, because when
Oh, no.
Christine came into the Slam workshop, the title was Havoc. So it had
Oh,
to do,
no.
yeah, it had to do with somehow, even though, Melissa was a co-host and I had made all these other people co-hosts or whatever,
Right,
when I
shut up.
left, it's like I took happened.
Uh-oh.
Let me check the wait list and see if
6 people are in there right now.
yeah, I'm just checking.
What happened was the hyperlink was different than the visible link. I don't know, it must have been some kind of glitch because in my spreadsheet, I think it just somehow the hyperlink got placed as the same as the Havoc awards. And so whenever you clicked on it, it just went to the awards.
Well, the awards had finally ended by that point or something. I don't know what time the awards finally
I'm
ended.
messaging the people in the waiting room that will let them in 2 minutes. Is that good for you?
Yeah, I'm just making sure that Bree and Tree don't end up in the waiting room, or if they get to the others. I feel
Oh,
bad.
I'm so sorry. That must have really sucked.
I mean, especially because like Amy Matern and Daryl.
Oh no, Darrell Foster was in there too.
And I felt bad because that was the one thing that, one of the 2 things that sold out, and I had tried to let all those wait list people in and stuff. So
that's so frustrating.
yeah.
That is so rough.
Oh, wow.
Did any of the waitlist people that we emailed join the meeting a little later?
I don't think so. Someone, Nez did, Nesrin Hassan, she's in the speech team, I think. Nesrin Hassan, she's actually in the waiting room there. But I don't remember if she was from the wait list or from the original group. Yeah. Oh, well, I mean, yeah, you do what you can do. Actually, it was really funny. Cynthia Patton, the poet laureate for Livermore, she was in there with like a male companion behind her who was writing the funniest stuff. Like the writing prompts were funny and good, and he was chiming in.
That's
so
awesome.
Yeah, so we did have some good stuff, which is cool. It was just bummer.
It is time. Should I let them in?
No, let's wait till the hosts get here.
Okay.
Oh, great. Someone made me, just so that we can.
Oh, okay. Do you know when they? Oh, yeah.
I don't know how they want to do signups. So they're probably taking a break and give them a minute or 2.
How long do you want to wait before opening it if they're not here?
Just a couple more minutes. I was just with them, so I'm sure they'll come. But
is there anything I can do to help you with this meeting?
I think this one we're good to go, as long as the link's working. It looks like it is, because.
Did you send out another email reminding people of this one? I'll ask Marty to do it.
No.
Okay, I'll ask him.
Yeah.
There was one person that had emailed the Gmail account earlier today, and I think randomly was searching screenwriting tools and had missed the workshop that you guys put on and was asking for the recorded file. So I forwarded it to all of your LPC emails.
Great. Thank you. Yeah, I think it's going to take us about a week to get them archived, but it's great that so many people are asking about that. I have that same question coming up quite a bit.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of people. It's so cool all over the country and just kind of that have searched and found this, which is really neat.
Yeah,
that is really cool. That's the upside of the pandemic.
Yeah.
Doing it online is like people are all over the place.
Well, yeah, you have resources that are usually out of your reach.
Yeah, I mean, there were people reading in the Havoc ceremony from Uganda and somebody from Iran and New York, and
Wow.
just, yeah, it was cool. I don't know what time, it must have been the middle of the night for some of these
That
people.
is really, really neat.
Yeah. Okay, it looks like
Have
Amy,
anybody there?
Dean Amy is in the waiting room. So maybe we should go ahead and let everybody in.
Yeah, Rivka's in there, but do you have the hosts? Do you want to contact them? Are you
They'll,
gonna,
no, they'll, I mean, they'll be here in a few minutes.
okay, as long as you can pat her.
Well, I
So
was just with them.
I'm going to, I'm just gonna check out and listen.
Oh, okay.
Unless you need me for something.
No.
Okay. Thanks, Tobe. Sorry about that. That's a horrible thing.
Ooh, well, you know, I guess if it had to happen at some, it had to happen at some,
It was a
to
smaller one.
something, you know, this was one of the smaller ones in that sense. I guess it's okay, you know, not okay, but yeah.
Do you want me to push admit?
I'll do it.
Okay.
I was just hoping they would show up, but they'll be here in a minute. I'm sure they're taking a little break because they were just doing a bunch of stuff in the other
Do
one.
you want me to message the waiting room?
I'll just let folks in. Might as well. I'll message Natrice and just tell her.
Start the closed captioning.
Oh yeah, start the closed captioning. We got the recording going.
I don't see the closed caption. So
There it is.
oh, there we go.
Okay. I'll just tell Natrice. There are a bunch of people. Okay. So making sure they've got that, and there we go. Good evening, folks. Good evening, slammers and slam attendees. And apologies to anyone who may have been thwarted in attending the slam workshop. That was our, let's keep our fingers crossed that that was the one hopeful Zoom fail of the day. Okay, so we are just about to get started up here. Want to see how many folks do we have who are planning to sign up for slams tonight. We are in our sign up period and our hosts are going to be here in just a couple minutes. I'm seeing one hand raised, two hands raised. Rivka slamming tonight? No, okay. So the slam, what signups are happening now? Seeing a message in the chat box there. Signups are happening now until 6. And at 6, when the hosts get here, they're going to take a look at how many names we have. And so I'm going to slam listener here. Okay, great. Just trying to see whether we've got the listeners or the slammers here. So I'm going to put some names in the chat box. I'm seeing, we all see Bhavya, you're going to slam?
Yeah.
All right, good. And I think I just saw some more hands. Oh, yes, Nez, I know I'd seen you. Okay. Okay, and so I'm seeing people talking about sharing poems or open micing poems. When the hosts arrive, they will, oh cool, I see where you guys raised your hands in the little chat box. When the hosts arrive, they'll give us a kind of a rundown on the slam and how it works. Gotcha, Evan. But they'll be needing to choose judges. So if you aren't feeling like you want to share your poem, but you're here to listen, they will be needing some folks from the audience to be judges. If you're feeling like maybe you have a poem to share, and this was Bhavya, your comment about having a poem to share made me wonder how many people this may apply to. If you have a poem to share, but you don't necessarily want to be in the competition, there will be a call for sacrificial poets. And so sacrificial poets are poets that are presenting their poem, slamming their poem, but they are not a part of the actual competition. And so the judges will be judging them, but they are going to be kind of using the sacrificial to norm their scores as judges. So I believe there will be a oh, sorry, Evan. Okay. You know what I'm seeing, since I'm seeing the hands show works in the participant list, that may be the easier way for Bree and Tree to tell when they get in here who's volunteering. I'm seeing in the little raise hand icon, I see Bhavya, Vyalsi, Alex, Josh, Allison, Nezrin. No, not Richard. For a second, I thought I saw Richard's hand, but that's just Richard's cloud. Okay. Not seeing any other hands there yet. A sacrificial lamb, okay. And I think, yeah, I think we'll have a few folks. I know I was just in the workshop with Cynthia Patton, and she is, I think, heading over this way, and she said she would also she's feeling sacrificial tonight. That sounded right to her. So, so fantastic. Let's see who else is here. Carrie Ann, Joanna, any of you guys? Does everyone see how to do the raise hand? The raise hand icon if you want to slam. Great.
Toby, it's Carrie Ann. I only had time for the one. So if they're doing 2 to 3 rounds, I'm not gonna compete. Okay. They'll kind of decide that, I think, when they get in here and see how many folks we have that want to actually be in the competition. So Frank, did you get your hand raised? Do you see how to do that? Just so we have you marked in the list there of
is the hand raising for to be a sacrificial lamb?
I think that, well, the hand raising I think is for just, you want to be in the competition. So they'll call, you want to be in the competition. Okay, so if you could use the icon to raise your hand so that it stays raised in that in your box, that might be the easiest way if everyone can see how to do that. You go to the reactions icon at the bottom of the screen, and then when you click on that, it gives you a little kind of palette of options there, and one of them is raise hand, or really any icon you choose. Cara, yeah? You're gonna slam?
No, I'm not going to do it, but my uncle's here as he likes to write poetry, and he said he's going to do it.
He's gonna do it? Hi, Uncle, welcome. That's awesome. Okay, well, so we were just in the slam workshop earlier, just a little bit earlier, and that was the one big Zoom Zoom-tastrophe of the day. We don't exactly know what happened, although I think our IT guru, Christine, has some idea of what happened. It had something to do with me leaving the Havoc ceremony and telling them that they could continue reading while I went on to start the Slam workshop. And there I was by myself, and then with the hosts, and realizing quickly that something had gone very wrong. So all the Slam workshop participants, which was a full crowd, including a wait list full of people, had all ended up in, I don't know what Zoom room exactly. Amy, I had seen your name on the list. I tried emailing you the room we ended up in. And anyway, Christine helped us through. We ended up with about 4 or 5 dedicated poets, and we had a great time with Bree and Tree doing some Slam stuff. So, but I think they're just preparing for this now, so they'll be hopping over here in a moment or two. So all these hands up here, I'm just going to go down the list and see who I'm seeing in the participants who have raised a hand and marked yourself as someone who wants to read. Bhavya, Vialsi, Alex M, Joshua, Allison, Nezrin, Kara, is it Saya Joy?
Yes.
Okay. And that's who I'm seeing so far. Okay.
Toby, I had a direct message from one person asking if a haiku was okay.
Kind of want to let Bree and Tree answer that, but a haiku is okay. It's probably too brief to score super high if you are actually considering competing with that in the Slam. So if sometimes what we have is poets actually sometimes save their haiku to the very end. Should there be a tie score at the end of a Slam, they often do what's called a sudden death haiku, where 2 poets need to each suddenly produce a haiku, and the winning haiku is the one that breaks the tie there. So sometimes haiku are used for that. Haiku actually are originally in ancient times in Japan. Haiku were done as competitive performance poems. So they were part of a circular party game that poets would participate in, and the idea was to try to outdo the haiku that were done before you as you went around the circle. So in a sense, haiku originally were Slam poems in the distant past in Japan. But for a Slam in today's modern world, and I see Natrice, it looks like our hosts are here, so they might have more to add on this. But I think it would be hard to compete with just a haiku in the Slam.
So yes, let me unmute my mic. I gather we're talking about using a haiku to perform.
Yes.
So I think definitely we want to be mindful. Slam poems are ideally 1.5 to 3 minutes. Under a minute is definitely not a long enough time to captivate an audience in a way that will be memorable with enough breadth of words or information that judges can pull from and that audiences can pull from. And then over 3 minutes is too long to keep people's attention and too long to judge. So ideally, regardless of the format of poetry that you use, you want to have your piece be about 1.5 and definitely no more than 3 minutes.
Right. All right. So, sorry, I'm getting some various messages about Zoom here and there, but okay.
No, it's been a day. It's been a day. We thank you, Toby.
Before
we get further, let's just say, like, I know we're all virtual, but I just want to give Toby another round of applause and thank you. You've been coordinating all day. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
I'm getting zoomed for sure. Wait, I think that was a song. Who zoomed who? Aretha. Well, anyway, welcome to, is Bree there with you too, Natrice?
She is. She'll be joining momentarily. We've got, mom life.
Yep, mom life happens. So what I've been doing, having these folks do is use the little hand raising feature. So you could see over in the participant list all the people who are who would like to read tonight.
Okay.
But I think there may be some who haven't activated.
Perfect. This is perfect.
Yeah, there might be some who haven't activated their hands yet. Let's see.
Okay. Go ahead and activate your hands, guys.
Activate your hands because I know Frank.
Toby, that was just for people who wanted to be in the slam versus people who wanted to read. Is that right?
There are a few folks who are specifically interested in being sacrificial poets.
Can you go ahead and put a message in the chat to me so that I can identify you separately? We only have spots for 3 sacrificial poets, I believe, three max. So the first 3 people who are willing to be sacrificial will be able to read. Everybody else will be a competitor.
I see Allison Fletcher mentioned doing that.
Okay, Miss Cynthia.
Wait, what is a sacrifice?
A sacrificial poet is a poet who wants to share their work, but they're sacrificing the opportunity to win and have bragging rights as a competitor by just simply sharing their work. So they're saying, I'll sacrifice having bragging rights or winning or getting a prize for the sake of just sharing a piece in between each round. And so we pick up to 3 different poets to share in between each round. Sometimes Bree and I toggle, but what we do is in between each of the judging rounds, a person can contribute a sacrificial poem. So you would perform 1 poem and we would pick up to 3 people.
So I just to help out, in case it helps out, Allison had said that Fletcher earlier in the chat, and Cynthia Patton and Joshua Horowitz all asked to be sacrificial.
Wonderful.
Poets.
And then I see there was a lot of people who raised hands who are like, but I don't want to compete. I'm afraid to compete, or for whatever reason, you just want to be sacrificial. One of the best things about being a sacrifice term slammer is that you'll realize the only real hard thing between being a slammer and being a sacrificial poet is exactly the same obstacle. No matter what title you choose, you're going up against the same thing, which is going to be speaking. Oh, hold on. No matter what happens, you're going to be going up against the same thing, which is going to be speaking. And so if you are able to get up and perform and share your work, no matter which title you like to assign, you've already done the deed. You're doing the same thing. Whether you assign it to have a prize or you don't, you're doing something that scares people, and a lot of individuals would rather die than speak. So you guys don't take your names off this list. You got your hands raised. I say go for it. Stay in and get in. But let's be clear on what you guys actually want to do. So I have, for sacrificial poets, Miss Cynthia, Joshua, and then there was a name, there was someone who's been trying to coordinate this who asked very early on to be sacrificial. Who was that?
Allison.
Allison, yes. So I have Allison, Joshua, and Miss Cynthia.
There was one other, Marie Ann Podre also, or Podre.
I understand. We don't have space to have more than 3. 3 is the maximum right now. If we have time at the end, we can have more so I can get some just in case names. So let's clarify the list and then we'll get into poetry. So Bree is now here with us. She's going to go ahead and do some scribing. And then she'll get on the mic in just a second and coordinate the starting of the slam. But to start, sacrifices up front are Joshua, Cynthia, and Allison.
We'll give all the rules and everything, all of that in just a couple minutes. So everybody get your jitters out. Go ahead and grab yourselves some water or something to drink if you need to. If you have your pieces, everyone doesn't always have their things memorized, and especially now in the virtual digital world of slam, it's a lot harder to do that. The way things will go, like I said, all the rules will be explained, but we do need anybody who is going to officially slam or compete to be prepared with 3 pieces. They can be written if necessary, but you always want to be prepared in case, cross fingers, you make it to the 3rd and final round. So that's just a reminder, and that's why we're giving you guys these next few minutes also, because some of you might be like, oh crap, I have one, but I know you have others. I know. It's just that's the one that you had chosen to use for today's slam. So go ahead and look through your things, decide a couple more that you believe are slam worthy. I guarantee you they're better than you think they are. And be prepared with 3 just in case. Everybody that is going to be slamming will for sure get to do 1, because you guys will all be in the first round. And then based on how many we have, we'll let you know beforehand how many will make it to the 2nd round, and then how many will advance to the 3rd and final round, keeping in mind that there's a 3-minute time limit for your piece. Okay, I know that sounded like a lot of information. Pull out the important parts. 3 poems just in case. 1 will be performed for sure. We'll have cuts at the end of the 1st and 2nd rounds, and 3 minutes poem maximum for your piece. And I'll give any other information as soon as I write these names down. So give yourselves, is that time? You know, I'm a
6:10. 6:10, we can start. She's gonna write these names down so we can.
You think I could write in 60 seconds, huh?
It's just 3 names.
That's just for the, I gotta write that. If you have,
So anybody with their
okay,
hand
so
raised
I
is
would
a-
say if, I'm sorry, I do have a question that I'm gonna address now, because it may be a question that other people have, so I'm reading the chat as I'm speaking. Do not ever worry about announcing or introducing your poems when you're in a slam, partly because it detracts from the time, and your introductions are included in the amount of time that you have. So for some people, you may not have one long piece. You may have a couple pieces that you're going to do that you put together that we don't even know are separate pieces. So you can perform them as such, and you just keep going. Remember, the audience has no idea what you're performing until you're performing it.
Right.
So don't worry about if you have a couple short ones and you say, okay, that's the end of that one. The next one, all we should hear is you speaking. And if that means you're putting 2 pieces together back to back, we don't have to, because the judges are going to be judging based on your, not just your content, but your delivery, your expression, your comfortability with what it is that you're speaking on. So you want to make sure that you're as prepared as possible, which doesn't always mean memorized, but it does mean we don't want you to be shuffling through looking for your next ones if you're going to be slamming. Make sense? Not a problem at all. See, I knew I wasn't going to be ready at 6:10 because I have to answer questions. So you can put any other questions in the chat or out loud, but just know that I'll take just a minute to respond to them unless it's something super urgent, in which case I'll respond immediately.
Hi, Bree and Tree. This is Richard Dry. I'm one of the co-hosts of the festival, and I just want to say that thank you so much. I just wanted to say that I have you guys spotlighted right now in speaker view, which means it's just you guys centered in the screen. And when you want me to take that off, I'm happy to do that. But I did that because when Tree was in the regular view, is actually just showing your view. So when you want me to take that off, probably for all of the poets to go or whoever's going, just let me know and I'll remove it.
And that's perfect. Thanks for letting us know. The way we're sitting next to each other, like physically, so that's why.
I was like, he did what we were trying to achieve.
I know, we were like, okay, do I look at this one or this one? So
yeah, it's a 2-camera newscast.
Yeah, her volume is off on hers because we're using volume on mine so that there's no feedback.
Yeah, exactly. So thank you for
that. That's why it'll show as muted on hers if you're looking on her image, but it's because
but you can hear me.
All right, I'm excited to see what happens.
So am I. We'll be good. Right. But yeah, you can unspotlight us as soon as we get ready to start, because then each of the individual slam poets will want them to be spotlighted. Yes, and oh my goodness, yes, wonderful question. Everybody that's here, you do not have to participate. This is actually the Zoom for those who are slamming as well as the attendees. We need as many attendees as possible because they need the support. These poets need the support, the cheering, the camaraderie, the audience. Because although we love to write, slamming is a little different. If you slam in with nobody there, then we kind of feel like, eh. So we want to make sure we get people on, definitely. And if you finished your first poem, you don't have any others that you want to share, then essentially you would not, you wouldn't be able to compete beyond the first round, just realistically speaking, because we would need anyone who does advance beyond the first round to have another one. However, if you would still like to participate, just know that if you are one of the people who are chosen, then you would just forfeit your spot, and the next highest score that would have been eliminated would then take that spot. So not to deter you from doing it at all, but just to let you know that's what the process would be if you had been making go to the next round. And that is a great question, Richard, about the voting. So Toby, I'm not sure if you've already.
Oh, Bree, I can't remember what I said by now. Do you know?
We
It's
need the judge.
Thursday.
I just didn't know if they had
It's-
already been picked or
Yeah.
asked or.
I think I mentioned to them that there will be judges from the audience picked. So, so they heard about that, but I didn't say anything or see anything yet about who's going to do it.
Okay.
So
that's good to know, because then what we are asking, and the way slam judging goes is some people love it, some people hate it, mostly on the hated side, but judges are randomly chosen, and they are people who do not have any direct affiliation with those who are slamming. So the way we'll do it is we will have our final list of those who are slamming. We will announce those people, and then we will ask for, based on the numbers here, we may only be able to do 3. We will ask for 3 judges, 3 people to volunteer to judge. We want 5, but if we can't get 5, then we ask for 3. And those 3 people are going to be the people who would then be giving the scores. And we'll explain the scoring shortly. But that's what we're looking for. So if you are interested in judging and you're not going to be competing, then we ask that you send a direct message to either myself or Natrice or Toby to volunteer and let us know, but don't send it in the chat to everyone.
No, please don't. You can't be a judge then if you do that.
Everyone doesn't need to know who the judges are beforehand. We'll announce who the judges are right before we start, and then we won't mention your names again. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay, so I have one volunteer judge so far. So thank you for being on the ball with that. So just know that we are looking for either 2 or 4 more. The reason why we're not doing it in between is because typically we have 5 judges, and the way the scoring goes is we score on a range from 1 to 10.
Right.
1 being, let's start with 10. 10 being the absolute best
Most
piece.
perfect.
Oh, it was just amazing.
Phenomenal.
All hail to the
outstanding,
artist.
Life-changing
I cannot believe someone is this talented.
type of poetry.
There you go. 1,
Why
did this person
ever
pick up
the stage, the
and
mic,
write this?
and
Oh
say
my
anything?
goodness.
I can't
I can't.
believe it.
That's what it is. and all things in between. Decimals are allowed,
Yes.
FYI.
So we need 2 more audience members.
I got one right
participants.
here.
Let's see. Oh, I
All
can't see.
right.
Let me get in Bree's inbox.
It's private.
No, it's not. I can see. Not private.
Yes, we got 3 judges already. We got 3 judges. Okay.
Thank you.
Now,
thank
if
you.
there are 2 others who would like to, let me tell you why. So, yes, we got 4. Okay, now we need 1 more. You guys are making my heart just, I'm so excited.
The pitter patter.
Yes, okay. I'm trying to talk and respond at the same time. I will give judges the information that they need shortly. Don't worry about it.
Nate's gonna be a judge.
Nah. Nope, because you just said that person out loud and we're not on mute. So, she just messed it up.
We just won't say the name again.
Look at you. Horrible. I need Nate to be competing.
I do too.
What is going on here?
So
Okay, I'm sorry. Unfortunately,
you can't be a judge if you're competing.
no, I'm sorry, guys.
Only if you don't want.
Just ignore. That didn't even come through.
Okay.
Of course not, Richard. Why would we ask you to do something like that? That's just crazy.
Why would we have you do such a thing? I'm gonna need. Right. So I'm
So,
gonna need Nate to compete.
got-
I really do.
Got someone messaging me about judging, but can't.
wonderful.
access the
So
chat.
remember, anybody that is interested, just send a message to either Toby or myself or Natrice. And
That's right.
so,
Nate's gonna compete. He's not gonna be a judge.
I hope
She's
so.
gonna compete.
do you have a
Cynthia's
list
gonna
of those
tell
who
them.
have committed to competing?
So we have.
There it is. Okay, it's Amy.
Abaya Nazrin.
Amy's happy to round out the judge squad.
No, because then everyone would know.
Oh, we revealed the name.
This is so
It's
good.
hilarious.
You gotta love Zoom. So I'm calling out some names, you guys. Y'all ready to compete?
Well, I need the list of people first.
It's Bavia, Nezrin, Yalzi. I'm just making sure. There you go. Throw a hand. Give me a thumbs up. So Bavia, Nezrin, Yalzi. I believe Allison said she wants to do sacrificial.
Okay, so wait one. If you actually,
Are competing.
yes,
right?
so what would be most helpful, because I know we have everybody on the Zoom in the participants wing. So if you can send a
Mhm.
message to in the chat, send the actual message with either me or your name, or if your name that
Can
you
they just
perform
do a
under is
thumbs up?
different.
Next to their hand up.
Well, a lot of people still have their hands up right now.
If they just do a thumbs up.
They're gonna hold them up until
Well, it stays until they,
does it?
we'll write it down so they can't retract it.
You can put your thumb up.
I already
Okay,
have a
so
few of you who try to take your thumbs away.
I know, I'm sorry, guys. It's because we're trying to read the chat at the same time.
Mhm.
Give me one moment. Let me make it clear. If you are competing in the slam, you may not judge. So you have to decide one or the other. I'm just letting people know that now, so that as I make this final list, you have to decide one or the other. You may not compete in the slam as well as judge, because if you think about it and you're competing, you can't be a judge for the same thing you're trying to win. So we have to have a separation.
Okay, can I clear up a few things?
Well,
Okay, so thank you guys for backing out if you do have connections that are not going to be appropriate to be a judge. You can compete even if you're reading from an electronic or handheld device. You don't need to have your poems memorized. I mean, we've had people who had 2 poems and then they were like, I'm gonna make it to the 3rd. Let me make a poem up real quick. So it depends on you.
that's okay.
This is a safe space, so everybody is encouraged to participate. So don't let the fact that you don't have all 3 pieces memorized or something stop you.
Judge wise, you guys, we do realize that this is all originating from a school environment. So
Can it
when
be
I
a
say
haiku?
nobody with direct affiliations, meaning your significant other, your best friend, your daughter, son, aunt, uncle, niece, nephew, parent, grandparent. That's what I mean by affiliations. Your best friend is included, your just cool friend as well. But if you are an educator, it's understandable that you're going to have students that are going to be competing. So we we believe as educators that you're able to be impartial and that you're able to judge based on the actual art that is being presented rather than, oh, that's my favorite student. So I don't think that that's an issue at all. So I don't want anybody to not throw their hat in for that reason. So no, I'm not sure you, okay. You may not compete and judge. I need everyone to understand that's the last time I'm gonna be able to say it. I need you to understand you may not do both. Pick one or the other, and that's the list that we'll put you on. And I'm gonna write out these final things now. So, unless you have a digital something going. And thank you guys for bearing with us. This is not, it's obviously not our first time doing this, but it is our first time doing this in this avenue virtually. So there's always going to be a couple hiccups, but we will be fine. Okay, thank you. Thank you, that's fine.
Bree, are you still looking for judges or are you done? Did you?
I
get all
am
your-
checking right now. I think we may be okay, but I'm gonna let you know right now, and I'm gonna send a message to the judges. I think
Okay.
we actually will have 5. And the way this goes is, I told everybody how the scoring goes. We then drop the lowest score, which we call the hater judge, and we drop the highest score, which is what we call the fan judge. And then we add the 3 of the middle ones together, and we average that. And that is how we get your actual score for the piece that you do. Because we don't want to run the risk of someone getting all 10s for everyone, and now everyone has a 30, and then someone giving all 3s, and now it completely messes everything up. So for everyone, we drop the highest and lowest score. And there's lots of messages coming through.
Okay,
Okay,
so,
so no.
so one thing that I want to go ahead and clarify, because we are here to compete, so somebody's gonna get a prize. Let's clarify who's gonna still be competing. I know that I have, see, Marie Ann is competing.
Okay. So
We all
can you make
see?
it, thank you, I'm sorry.
It's okay, I got it. So, we're gonna have Marie Ann, VLC, Nezrin, is Nezrin? Are you competing? And Cynthia, did we confirm if Nate is going to go ahead and compete with us? And then Sejoy?
We'll see. Most likely, yes.
And then Cynthia said, no, Nate's not reading. Miss Cynthia, are you competing or are you not? No, you're sacrificial reading.
Mhm.
Sorry about that. Okay. So far competitors, I have Yalsi, Nezrin, Sejoy, and Marianne.
We have more on here, I believe. Let's see. I'm scrolling up. Sacrificials, we have.
Not sacrificial.
No, I'm looking at the list. Joshua, Cynthia, and Allison, and then Marie and Bobby on standby as sacrificials, I believe.
And do you have Frankie's name? He looks like he wants to perform in the competition.
Frankie to compete?
Okay. Yeah, Frankie.
Yes?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes,
Frankie,
it
you
looks
can
like he
ask
does.
Lou. Up, it's right here.
Hold on, hold on.
Uh-huh.
Frankie.
Okay. Let me scroll up to my judges.
Okay, she's going over judges, and we're just clarifying because I know we're toggling between lists pretty frequently. But we don't want to bounce when we start. We just want to roll right through. So I'm just clarifying who is actually competing. I have Marianne, Vialci, Nezrin, Sejoy, and Frankie.
All right, now we're still looking because we need a few more to round it out, which is why we're giving you guys a little bit more time. And for my judges, and quite honestly, if we don't have as many participants, what we will do, because we can always call an audible, is we will bring it to 2 rounds instead of 3. Like I did that one.
Which is always possible.
That's always an option. So you may be sitting there like, I got 2 really good ones, but I don't have 3. the way our numbers are looking right now, we may just go ahead and have 2 good rounds and we'll still be fine. So if that changes your mind, let us know for sure. And the judges, I will be messaging you in 60 seconds, those of you who I have written down and seen as confirmed judges, just to make sure you're still on board in case you didn't see my responses to you. Give me 60 seconds. I've written down 3. I'm just triple checking the next 2.
Okay, and we're gonna close out the list soon. There are 3 slots for winning, so there's not a one-all end-all. With that being said, the odds of walking away with some recognition is really good if you are going to compete.
No, if you go on to the next round, you have to have a different poem, because if you think about it, the same judges are going to be judging both rounds. So you have to have a different piece that you're ready to perform for the next round, just to clear up any confusion or anything about that. No problem. Some of these I'm responding to verbally, even though they were asked in the chat, which is why you guys are like, who is she talking to? Anybody that may have had that question. Gotcha. You got Frank. Oh, and Frankie's feeling was Frankie J.
I got it. Okay, you guys, we're gonna close the list. All of the signers are gonna be final.
Give till 6:30 for me. I need till 6:30 to close it.
Well, the list, it can close at 6:30, but all of you guys are final, so just know that we have you down, and that's gonna be your final slot. You can't toggle between being a judge or a poet. We have to kind of keep everybody organized. So I have Marie Ann, Bialci, Nezrin, Sejoy, and Frankie J.
Understand, please, if she just said your name, you are not going to be a judge. Everybody, I'm hoping you guys all got that. Okay, the 5 judges that I have, I am messaging you guys right now.
How many rounds are we doing? 3 or 2?
It's gonna be 2.
Okay. But I can do haiku, right? Because I think someone said I can't do haiku.
No, you cannot do a haiku. These need to be slam pieces, so it needs to be more than 3 lines. And typically a haiku poem is going to take less than 1 minute to perform.
However, if you think you have just the most fantastic, blow everybody out the water 5-7-5 combination we've ever heard, then that is your piece, then you go right ahead. Just know that that will be your only piece for that round. And then the judging will be based on that piece.
Okay.
So make that decision on your own. And give me 1 moment. And, okay, so I have 1 confirmed. Toby, can you please make both myself and Latrice co-hosts?
We're about to get this thing started, you guys. I'm looking forward to some good poetry. I'm excited to hear some honest and raw poems. I'm looking forward to some expression, storytelling, and it's a slam.
And
so
I'm still messaging these
I
judges.
want to hear some people bring out the passion. Getting the judges together so we can have them all ready. Let me hear from some of the audience members. Drop something in the chat. I love to do a good chat.
Yeah,
Drop something in the chat and let me know what brought you in the room. What are you looking for? Like I came for the word and the verb. What y'all come for? What are you hoping to hear, receive, or see? You can just put it in the group chat, tell everybody, and then I'll read it out so we can all kind of keep the convo going. Or you can unmute yourself and the emotions and the different perspectives. Yes.
First time going to a slam.
Right? Somebody DM'd me and was talking about the nerves, being nervous and excited at the same time. Yes, Nazareth, first time slamming. Yes, this is what Steve. This gets me excited. To go through a learning experience and be inspired by other poets. This is definitely one of the things I show up for. Inspired is one of my favorite words regarding poetry. Curious. I'm excited to know. What are you more curious about? Tell us.
I like
The
that.
good poems and the judging. My first slam. Again, I love it. Hi everyone. I can't believe
We're going to tell you guys the
graduating high school
prizes
today.
in 2 minutes. I'm waiting on 2 people to confirm. Check your inboxes, please, to confirm that you guys are going to be judging. I sent the messages, so we're just waiting on 2 people to confirm.
Okay, we have chat. Let me see. I was reading this. This is from somebody graduating. This is nice. I can't believe I'm graduating high school today. After all the hardships, finally I'm here. Now, share a few incidents from my childhood. When I was born, the doctors told my parents that I may not be able to walk, eat, sleep, and to lead a normal life. A student, teacher, a pen, a book can change the world by Malala Yousafzai. Yes, you teachers have changed my self-confidence and my whole world. Thanks to my parents, sister, and all my teachers and friends. I love this. Thank you, Say Joy, for sharing. First time competing. Yes, I want to experience it before I participate later on. So some of you are coming to get your feet wet and learn about a slam so you can see how it goes. This is nice. Indeed, this is going to be awesome, Jamie. Thank you. Be moved, inspired, excited, challenged, and so on. What are the prizes? We'll tell you.
I'm literally looking for one
All
more
great
person.
slammers know. All great slammers know. If you come for anything, it is the prize. That's what we show up for. To support Go Slammers, you got this. Can't wait to hear what the poets bring tonight. It's always a surprise. I love it. I love it.
Yes, I'm sorry. I have to address that. When I say inbox, I do mean chat in here. Sorry, because it's a direct chat. You guys are directly chatting with myself or Natrice, and so I'm so used to saying inbox all the time. Forgive me for that, you guys. Anytime I say that, I'm talking about the chat and direct messaging, which is private messaging to any of us. And when we say drop it in the chat and we're asking a question, we want you to drop it here for everybody. So you have the option to chat with everyone or with the host or co-host privately. Don't have the option to chat with anyone else privately. That makes sense.
Can I use that one that I sent to her? Can I use that for the competition?
You can use whatever you want to use for the competition. Don't let us know ahead of time. Just be ready with it when we tell you guys the order in just a moment. And I did not get a response from the last person that I messaged about judging. So I am going to call an audible and ask someone else quickly. That is a great, great question. Jamie, how do you want to address that one?
Let's see. Okay, so the first question is, do slammers always share their own original content, or can they share someone else's work as long as they attribute it correctly? In slam poetry, the whole gist of doing this is so that you can get the bragging rights, the accolades, the rewards, and the monetary prizes for creating your own work. So in a regular setting, if you were at a poetry open mic, if you were at a poetry reading, if you were at a literary event, just a regular sharing events, that would be fine. But for these intents and purposes, we need it to be all original work. This is a platform that poets use in order to be monetarily compensated for their craft or to build up the gumption and the skill to become professionals in their field. So we definitely want to respect the authenticity of the platform. Thank you for asking. That was a really, really good question.
Okay, so I believe we are good with our five judges. So these are the people you have for the actual.
These are the people we have for the slam.
And we want anyone else last minute want to jump in, you can jump in now because
there's room.
There is room.
I'm telling y'all.
I would compete if I could.
I wish I could.
You know why? Well, not okay, not why, but you know
Well,
what the
I'm a
benefits is? I
poet.
almost said why.
Yeah,
And it wasn't gonna be the PC answer. I was
No,
gonna say
it's-
these prizes though.
Yeah, like I'll take it.
So the prizes, let's get that may entice these last couple people to sign.
Perhaps.
So
Let's see.
this is how it's gonna go. There are only so far, only 5 people competing, right?
So
I guarantee
far.
you there's gonna be at least 2 more that sign up after we say this.
I mean, I feel like it.
I believe it. So 3 actual cash, did I say cash?
You did.
I said cash prizes, right?
You said cash,
Cash
money.
prize.
Cash money.
There we go. So the 3rd place prize, 3rd place, that means you were the top 3, right? 3rd place gets a grand total of, that's a $40 cash prize right there. The way gas prices are, that may fill up 3/4 of somebody's tank right now, which
I'll
would work
take it,
wonders
Brian.
for me,
I will
trust
take
me.
it. I will take it.
That's the 3rd place. Now, what's the 2nd place prize?
There's
right?
a second place.
There's a 2nd place. Another drum roll. 2nd place prize, cash prize of $60.
6-0.
That's pretty awesome.
Not 6 like one Starbucks coffee, like
No.
6-0.
6 and a 0 after that, right?
Yeah.
Then we have the 1st place prize. Did you know it was the 1st place prize?
Well, I'm excited. I'm already able to get gas and a whole meal.
A whole one.
For $60, I'm getting gas and a whole meal.
And a Starbucks, let's be honest.
Coffee too.
So, 1st place prize. We need a drum roll for that one. $100.
See you.
That is what the 1st place prize gets. That's pretty awesome. We need to give it up to Las Cositas for
Yes.
even making this possible, because we have been doing this. We actually started with what? Say Word, right, Toby?
Right.
Say Word was what we were doing in person, and a 4th time? I think this may be my 4th time hosting, 4th or 5th.
Well, there was last year, so
It's 6 years, 5 times. Yeah. So my 5th time hosting this slam for Las Cositas. And this is the largest cash prize that we've been able to give out to participants, to slammers. So I applaud you guys as a school, but also Toby, everything that you've done, the work you've put into helping make this possible and have grown it to this level. For this to be a virtual thing, the first
right.
year, and we have like 39 people on here right now.
Mhm.
That just goes to show that
The
everything
reach.
you're doing is coming to fruition.
Right.
We keep coming back every time. And we're
Right.
here, and we've grown it from no workshop at all, to Treese being a feature, and to her now being my co-host, to us having a workshop that preceded this slam, and us having these cash prizes that are phenomenal. So I thank you. It's not all about the money, but it's a slam, so it's about the money
That's
sometimes.
right.
And we appreciate
does rock.
this. That's huge. Toby rocks, most definitely. So without further ado, we buy 2 to 3 books. That you know what? Speaking of books, we'll plug ourselves later. But what we're gonna do now is I am going to go ahead and epic is epic, and sometimes when you're on it, and you can write before it's your turn. That's how it goes sometimes. I'm just saying,
Sure.
Jamie. You can
That's
whatever
true.
you create is going to be epic in and of itself.
Right. Don't even worry about it.
I'm just saying. So remember, key things to remember, and we're going to then announce the order of the artists as well as who the judges are, and let the judges know how to submit your scores. Because yes, we don't make you guys stay in the dark about the judges for the whole time.
Right.
Don't worry about that. So what we do is we let you guys know who the judges are one time at the beginning. Judges, you just raise your hand, like, hello, all right. And then that's it. There is to be no direct communication with any of the judges
Please, guys,
at any point in time that will disqualify you from the slam.
automatically.
And that's just a thing. Kind of a no-brainer, but we want to make sure that everybody does know that. Some of you may not. You may have thought, but that's my teacher. So I just wanted to say, wait till the slam is over. So we make sure we're abiding by the same rules across the board. And did we have anybody after finding out about those awesome cash prizes that wanted to throw their hat in the ring?
Any last people want to get on this list?
Okay, then you can
All right.
randomize that order.
So I'm randomizing.
And while she's randomizing, I am going to quickly announce our 5 judges. And like I said, just everybody can put their hands down for now, so that we don't get confused. So in your reactions, just like, yeah, I think it says you put your hand down, or what is this, remove hand?
I'll do it.
You can do it for everybody?
Yeah, I can lower hands.
What? That's fancy.
Let people do it.
Okay, so almost everybody.
I've lowered all and
You've lowered all.
don't put your hands up, guys.
Wonderful. So when I say your name as a judge, please don't raise your hand at all.
It's okay, hold on.
And then if I say your name as a judge, you can go ahead and raise your hand. I got it. Okay.
Sorry.
That's okay. That's okay. This, like I said, this Zoom stuff is not always, it's cut and dry as we like to think it is. So judges, I say your name, raise your hand for me, please. I have Allison, Erica, Laura, David, and Richard. Wonderful. So judges, remember, you have a job. You have a very important job. Artists, slammers, remember, you have a more important job. But judges, you have a really important job as well. And that job is, as soon as, or as close to as soon as the artist is finished performing, they're done. They don't have to say, hey, I'm done. You just need to stop your video if you're finished. That's how we'll know you're finished, okay? Or, so no one should message anyone except myself or Natrice or Toby if you have a really important question. Otherwise, we're shutting down messaging for anybody else for the duration of the slam, just to make it all fair. But judges, your really, really important job, okay? You have to send those scores to me. Remember, it's a scale of 1 to 10. You can give a 6.2. You can give a 9.3, but you only send the score to me. If you forget, then send it to Toby, but that's it. Don't post it to everyone in the chat. Like it'll mess everything up. And then we get the $100. No, it's just gonna happen.
And I need gas.
So and I'll ask for them. I'll say, okay, judges, get your scores together, send them to me. I'll make sure I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then I will tell you all as right before the next person goes, what your score for that round will be. Since we only have what, 5 people?
Yep.
Since we only have 5 people, then we're gonna do 2 rounds. Ooh, y'all should want this money.
There's some good money to
I
get.
don't understand. Bobby, where are you at? Where is Bobby? I don't know what's going on. I don't know. And
There's
then
Flavia, she's there.
I'm looking at this list, like, where is Bobby's name?
I know.
don't see her name on this.
It's because she didn't want to be there, but we just trying to figure out why not. Like, I don't.
That was my hint.
That was our hint. Like, why aren't the two of you getting this money?
But it's okay. We understand.
We get it.
So then we will go it'll be 5 people for this round. And then the second round will be, ooh, I hate to drop one, but that's just gonna have to go, right?
It's gonna happen.
Okay. So the top 4 scores will advance to the second round. The 5th person, we still love you. We do. But you just want to advance to this round this time. And then as of the second round, we'll take the top 3 combined scores from rounds 1 and 2. The top 3 scores will be 1st, 2nd, and 3rd place.
Excuse me. When I share, can I share my screen and present, or no, is that not allowed?
No, we're actually not going to be sharing our screens at all because everything is just going to be done verbally.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
But I can use my computer and talk. That's fine,
Yes,
right?
you can.
Okay.
Yes. Okay, so judges, you know who you are. You know what your job is. Remember, 1 to 10, and you're gonna, that 10 is that amazing, amazing, just Nobel Prize worthy. That 1 is throw it in the trash. And audience, we don't care about scores because we're here for the art. We're here for the support. We're here to support the artists. Judges, we really care about those scores.
Oh, we care about
So, man, we need these scores.
Numbers,
So
please.
let's make sure everybody does their job, does it well, and we will ask for, we're not gonna introduce ourselves yet. We're just Bree and Tree.
This is 6:45.
We'll wait until right before. I know.
Poetry.
We might do some poetry later.
We might.
I think. Okay. So what we would like to have happen first is our first sacrificial poet. Now let me tell you what this means. This poet will be scored, but not for the slam. They're going to be scored to set a benchmark for you, to let you know this poem, this type of poem, this delivery, this content, the way they are expressing themselves, this person gets whatever score that they get, but it won't be considered as part of the slam. They are literally sacrificing themselves and their art for you. So you can be prepared, you can be ready, and you can get all the shakes and all that out, right?
Everybody you just stand up real quick.
Oh, I like
2 seconds.
that.
Just stand up real
Can we
quick.
get you to stand up real
Get all
quick for
get all
us?
your shakes out. And it's real easy. It's real easy. I don't know. if
We're
you can see me,
interactive. We're
but all you gotta
interactive.
do is just whatever can shake and move and jiggle and wiggle. There you
You
go.
might have a lot more shaking
There
and
you
moving and
go.
jiggling and wiggling than you'd like to admit.
And
That's
you
like
just-
us. We're all right.
If you gotta let it hang and jiggle, you let it hang and jiggle. But if you can just stand up straight and go, oh,
Let me take a deep breath in.
and then we're gonna breathe in and out.
The number one fear in America is what, Trees?
Public speaking.
Public speaking. People would rather die than talk in public. Y'all are alive.
So you made it.
Let's go.
You've already won.
Wonderful.
All right.
All right. Our first sacrificial poet. And judges, be ready. You are judging. You are scoring this one. So you can take me off spotlight. And
You are off.
oh, now I am. Ah, see.
Perfect.
And I don't have bios or anything for anyone. So all I know is that if you're getting up here to do this, then you're already amazing and you've conquered things. So we would like all the applause out loud and in the reactions button to please give it up for our first sacrificial poet. Judges, be ready to score. Give it up for Joshua.
Thank you. These poems I've selected, 4 poems I've selected. I don't intend to make you cry, but Christmas 2019, I lost my Kuipo, who was my dog for 16 years. But don't worry, I have 2 new pups that I got during the pandemic, so I'm good. But that's where these poems come from. I'm not used to speaking my poetry out loud, so this is maybe the second time I've done that. So I'm going to jump in right now, if that's okay with you. Without you, the world is not the same. Blues and greens have lost their soothing hues. All I see is black and white, and that sweet butterscotch, the patches above your longing eyes, around your ears, and along your snout. Food does not taste so sweet, and flowers have lost their smell. Only a gentle touch, a slight kiss here or there, sees me through to the next sigh. The world is not the same without you. Looking at a photograph of you, black and white, and me in blue. Looking out through the Golden Gate at the sun about to set on a cold December day before Christmas, wondering why we must all die. Wishing you could be with me until my end. Wishing all dogs could live with their human companions for their whole lives, human and dog lives parallel. Wondering still what lies beyond in the great ocean that pulls us on. Not wanting to let you go just yet. Holding your frail body close to my heart, not knowing why a few days from then you would leave me, gently passing on your own journey. On that night of Christmas, tears again in my eyes now. And for Mother's Day, mother of all things, original spark of life, dreamer of dreams, empowering the first breath of life, the first step, the first love, the first taste, the first touch, showing the way home in the end, to the fall, healing the pain, returning again to merge with the mother of all things. And Of Belonging, the only poem from this year, Of Belonging. There is a silver light on the horizon, shining on the surface of the teal sea, rays of the sun cutting through the charcoal gray clouds. And then I turn to see your golden face, bright with warm welcoming, there on the shore of an ancient arrival, coming home after so many lonely nights alone in the dark. Thank you.
That's the way you
Wow.
started off as the sacrificial poet. Thank you very much, Joshua.
That was good, Joshua.
Very much
My
appreciated.
pleasure.
that.
Thank you so
I was
much.
even timing you.
All right. I
Go
was.
ahead and work on you got a hard job. Remember, only send your scores to me. And you go ahead and you can use decimals if you need, but score 1 to 10. I will let you know what your final score is in just a moment.
Heads up to Frankie J. You're going to be our first competitor. Frankie J is up next, and we have Say of Joy on deck. On deck means you're after the person who's coming up next. So Frankie J is coming next. Say Joy is after that.
I have 2 scores in. I'm waiting on 3 more. All right, we're waiting on 1. Oh, I think we have all 5 scores in. Give me just a moment to tally it up. And once again, thank you very much for breaking the mold and being first and going up first there, Joshua. So give me 1 moment, please. Drop the low score and we drop the high score. All right. And we say, forget the scores because it's all about the art. We give it up for the artist no matter what, but let you know that the score is for Joshua a 19.5. Clap it up for the artist. Clap it up, 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 please. Thank you very much, Joshua, for volunteering to go first and sacrificing like that. I appreciate it. We do not share the transcripts of the actual poems because these are people's original works. So what we would say to do then is to be able to speak with that person after the slam is over. We will allow for a few moments at the end of everything for you to be able to share contact information and put that request out to the individual poets as well. We are recording the slam, and I believe a representative from Las Positas will have to let you guys know how that will work in terms of having access to the recording of it. But in terms of any transcripts, that's not something that we will provide just due to copyright and people's personal writings and things of that sort. But thank you very much, Joshua. We are ready for our first
official competitor.
There we go.
So I'm excited because this is what we all come for. This is what they've all waited for. There's nothing more exciting and brave, aside from just speaking out, than doing it for a prize or to be judged. So I'm excited to introduce the first poet. Did you want to say something?
I do want to say something really quickly. Just judges, remember that scale and remember those decimals. And so that one horrible piece, 10, awe-inspiring. Somewhere in the middle is gonna feel like, oh, if I only got a 5, I only got a 6, but we would rather you run midway and be consistent through the whole thing than run too high or too low. Because if you remember, 3 judges' scores are being kept, which means it's out of 30 possible points.
Right.
So let's just keep that in mind. And we're ready for the first slam competitor.
The first slam competitor, the first person to also be featured on the Lit Fest page. I just saw word from Richard Dry that this is going to be featured on the Lit Fest page. So while you cannot get a transcript, you can go and watch that replay. And this is one of the benefits of being brave enough to perform. With that being said, our very first poet of the evening is Frankie J. Give it up for Frankie J.
What's up? What's up? What's up? All right, guys. So thank you all for being here. A little bit about me. So through my heartbreak, me and my ex were going through a very hard time because we were very young. And she cheated on me, and a way for me to try to help myself get through it, I decided to go to poetry to help me through that transition of forgiveness. And yeah, so with that being said, my first poem, Once Upon a Time. A lovely girl with a broken soul met a boy with an empty heart. Drunk in love, they laughed to sleep, and waking together feeling happy and finally at peace. So sure they've learned from mistakes at hand, soon to end with a painful melody of a wicked dance. So sure to earn his trust at last, but scared their future had been eaten by the past. Time flew by as tests were passed. To hell twice and back, it said that their love still it stands. It's love versus the underworld. In these feelings, I advise you to stay ahead. Straying away, sometimes we are alone and left for dead. Staying in bed isn't running away from the bad memories in my head, but you can attempt to keep them away. Just use all your love, your heart, and forgive instead. Breath for breath, as I step and step, the beat of my heart and God guides my way. Oh, dirt path, I feel a shade of gray, afraid to fall and hurt again. After not to wake, afraid not to wake next to her one day. I never call you my bitch or even my boo. There's so much in a name and so much more in you. I'll never understand why, nor shall I hide from it. For the world I will fight like always. I hope you stand by my side. Time lapse, what happened? Steady fast you ran, and you ran for my dream of what we had. Didn't slip, you just got hit by the wrong path.
All right, Frankie J.
Good job, Frankie J. Thank you for being our first poet. Very nice. Thank you.
Thank you very, very much, judges. Take your time, but send me those scores as soon as you get a chance. And everybody else, some applause
Give it up
for
for
the first
yourselves.
slam competitor of the night, Frankie J. I got one judge's score in so far.
It's hard going first, y'all. We're getting the scores in.
That's okay, because scores don't really matter. Scores matter.
Scores
Scores
matter.
don't really matter.
Scores matter.
I know, but they don't.
The
but they
hardest
do.
thing in this competition is being the poet or being the judge.
I know, huh? Both of them.
Either way.
And then
either
being
way.
the host. Oh my goodness, where's my fanner?
I know.
No one's here to fan me.
Harsh.
Oh, we have
Hey guys, do me
three
one
scores
favor.
in.
Do
I
me
need
one
two more.
favor, because we do like good job, good. I don't want to say good judge, crazy judge, because we both crazy judges. But we do crazy judge and crazy judge. And I'm not gonna tell you which one is the double crazy, but I'm just gonna say one of us is making sure that the other one is making sure that both of us keeps track of time. And what that means is you guys don't get to talk. You guys don't get to talk before your piece. You just get to do your piece. Anything you say once you start moving your mouth is a part of your 3 minutes. If you go over your 3 minutes, you get docked. And I'm not going to say which one of us is making sure the other one of us makes sure that both of us is keeping track of time. But I don't want you guys to get docked for that. So Frankie J, you did good. We didn't ding you. One of us made sure the other one of us gave you 30 seconds courtesy. I'm not going to say who, but we're keeping track of time.
No
So
problem.
speak
at
your piece,
all.
but watch your timepiece too.
And guess what we do?
Hello.
We got all 5 scores in right now.
We got all 5 scores in.
Thank you, judges. Everybody give the judges a round of applause because this is hard and nobody make the judges feel bad about anything that they've done afterwards, okay? We are a safe space. And I say this jokingly, but it's really not a joke.
No.
You want understand that these judges are chosen
Yeah.
right before we start,
Yeah.
randomly chosen volunteers.
It's all love.
These are not always people who actually look.
Right.
We
Y'all wanna
do our thing. We do our thing. But hold on, I gotta get the judges that just do. So we want to make sure that you guys know that they do not always know poetry. You don't have to know poetry to be a slam judge. In fact, the more people who judge that are not actual poets or that are not followers of the poetry community or of the scene at all, that matters because that means that you hit them and affected them in a different way. That's huge. I'm sorry, I'm reading the chat as well. I will tell you guys the scores in just a moment. You just remember, you may only compete using an original piece. Keep that in mind.
Please.
And we are not able to honor any request in terms of where you go on the list. We did a random draw, random choosing in terms of the order. So that's just how it is. It's different when it's an open mic situation.
Can I do a poem of Anne Bradstreet that I wrote?
So you're actually gonna be going
Right now.
next, but I'm gonna still give you a moment because we still
1
have to
second.
make sure that we under. I gotta give him the score first.
Give him the score.
Let me give him the score.
And we
Okay.
got another sacrifice.
Can I do?
Because now that we're only doing 2 rounds, we can put a couple extra sacrificial poets in. I like that. I like how you
Y'all
think.
see that sacrifice dance I did for y'all?
And this is how we are all the time, unscripted. All the time, Bree and Tree. This is how we do. So
Walking poem.
after we drop what we call
The
the
high
hater,
and the low.
the hater score.
The lovers and the haters.
The hater score, we drop that, and then we drop the super fan score.
We just want the money, people.
And then I gotta add the 3 in the middle as well. Okay, that would be.
Toby says we have to do 1, 2. Can we do 2, 2? Can we do 2, Toby? We don't have 1, 2, do 2. Y'all run those words back.
We can do that. But right now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna clap it up for the artist and not the score. The score is, after all, a 19.25, but we're gonna clap it up for Frankie J.
Yes.
Awesome.
And I see you guys giving y'all giving the body responses. You know, you giving the nonverbal verbals and the chat.
And
You
all of
know,
that.
on the video, let them know y'all like these poems.
I love it. I like it. So now that we've taken it down to 2 rounds instead of 3, we think we are gonna be able to slide those extra 2, 1, because the other one's gonna be 2, 1. There we go. Extra sacrificial poet. In a little bit later, but for sure, those people who requested to be sacrifices, and we were like, maybe not. We're gonna get you in, but you gotta be ready. Stay ready. You ain't got it.
Get ready.
There we go.
Yeah.
So we'd like our second sacrificial poet to come up right now, and that one
will be
Miss
none other than
Cynthia. So Miss Cynthia, remember, judges, you are scoring her, but you are not scoring her for the competition. I wish we knew. She's not computing.
Just score it anyway.
Score it anyway, judges. Artists,
Scores
forget the
don't matter.
score. We're ready.
We just want poem.
Miss Cynthia, you are good to go. And
Okay, can you hear me? Yes? Okay. Don't think about the fact that she may never have a friend. It's easier that way. Don't think about how you promised the birth mother in the hospital while fingering starchy sheets, nose filled with the perfume of bleach, heart spilling over, that you would send her daughter, now your daughter, to college. Don't think about how back then it seemed a sacred oath, a blood sacrifice you were more than willing to pay. And in less melodramatic moments, nothing but a financial issue, because the rest, well, it would take care of itself, right? Don't think about how naive you were, how crazy to believe nothing could go wrong. Don't think about how your mother will say, I told you so. And even if she doesn't, will most definitely think it. And that thought will hang in the air between you like shattered glass. Don't think about how nice middle-class girls from the suburbs aren't supposed to adopt babies from drug addicts in jail. Don't reflect on how jail in this particular situation was actually a good thing. Don't think about the fact that she may never have a friend. It's easier that way. Don't think about how she may never have a lover, a spouse, a child of her own, adopted or otherwise. Don't think about the drugs. Don't ever think about the drugs. Don't wonder if autism is linked to meth. Don't think about how she may never hold a conversation with you, her mother, or anyone else, not even her birth mother, although that was the whole point of doing what you did. Don't think about what she will do for a job. Don't wonder if she will ever live on her own. Don't worry if that boy down the street will bully her. Don't, God forbid, contemplate what will happen when you are gone. Because that kind of fear will paralyze. That kind of fear will strangle or make you jump off a bridge. But then what will happen when you are gone? Don't think about the fact that she may never have a friend. Just don't. It's easier that way.
Can y'all just write a couple's book? Y'all gotta be a couple. Y'all need to write a book together. Miss
and even if
Cynthia
they're not a couple,
and
they're a
Mr.
couple
Nate.
of dope writers.
And even if y'all not a couple, y'all a couple of dope writers. But I just want y'all to be a couple because that's just like a great thing for lovers to do. Like, you guys are freaking awesome. Oh my gosh.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
I got one judge, all in the fields, all of them.
That was moving indeed. I loved it so much. That hit me in the feels. Wow. All I can say, my heart. Beautiful. This is the comments from the chat, Cynthia. This is response to your work. This is what you did within less than 3 minutes.
I'm speechless. I'm not speechless often.
Right? And this was sacrificial. This was a poem that didn't want bragging rights, that didn't want an author to be named, that didn't want publication, wasn't seeking validation or recognition or acknowledgement, wasn't looking to teach or be taught. This is a poem that just showed up to give and lend itself. And look what it did.
Thank you. And we don't even like scores, right? We say screw the scores.
I say,
Don't we? Don't we say that?
I live for the
But you
score.
know what we got? We
She
got
got
our
all
first
10.
10, y'all. We got
She
our
better.
first 10. First 10
Come
so
on.
far in the slam, and it's a sacrificial poet, and that is all right, because that means you
That's
set
right.
the barometer right now. We have a low score of an 8.2. Everybody say boo.
Boo.
Thank you, judges, for scoring. We have a score of an 8.5.
Everybody say yeah.
We have a score of a 10.
Everybody say
That gets us to 26.7. Thank you very much, Miss Cynthia. 26.7 is your final score. I think that's 20.
Hey,
Yeah, 26.7. I did it
look.
all in my head. I know a little bit of something
you
about
know
this.
something.
Thank you, Miss Cynthia.
And I kept up. I know a little bit.
Hey, we got it. Thank you very much for sharing.
Thank you
Very
very,
much
very much. That was beautifully done.
Ready for our next slammer?
I guess I am. I think I
Let me breathe,
am.
let me breathe.
All right. Let's breathe it through, you guys. We're getting on the mic. We're speaking our piece. We got somebody up next. You guys, let's clap them up to the mic.
But we need to know who's coming up after that so they're ready.
First, I'm going to tell you who's going to be up after that. After that, we are going to have on deck, we're going to have Marianne.
Marianne? I think
Is
it's
it Marianne or
I think it's
Marianne? It's
Marianne.
Marianne. I
It's
think
Marie,
it's
right?
We'll say Marie,
We'll
and you'll
miss-
tell me if I'm
they're-
wrong. Okay.
If they nodded.
Okay, I saw the nod. Nezra, let me know. So we're gonna have Miss Marie Ann is gonna be on deck, but right now, coming up next, give it up for Sad Joy. Thank you.
Can everyone hear me? Okay. Yeah, I'll be presenting I'll be presenting a speech that I did, so I'll be doing that. Okay, here we go.
Before you start, I'm so sorry to interrupt you, but I think your internet is a little unstable. So what I'm going to ask you to do is just to turn your video off, but leave your audio on so that we make sure we don't miss anything you say. So if you could just stop your video, but we can still hear you, then we'll be good to go.
Okay. So can you hear me now? Can you still hear
Perfect.
me?
Just come a little closer to your mic, and then we won't start the time until you actually start the poem. I just want to make sure that you get your fair shot as well. So bring yourself a little closer to your mic if you can. And yes, we can hear you out loud perfectly. Thank you so much.
Okay, so here we go. I can't believe I'm graduating my high school today. After all the hardships, finally I'm here. Now I will share a few incidents from my childhood. When I was born, the doctor's team told my parents that I'm not able to walk, eat, sleep, or lead to a normal life by any way. A student, a teacher, a pen, a book can change the world by Malala Yousafzai. Yes, your teachers have changed my self-confidence and my whole world. Thank you.
Hey, Joy, thank
very
you.
much.
Thank you for telling your story. Thank you for being so transparent about personal details and for being willing to put it into a format that is very shareable and easy to communicate with people that you don't know. It's a very, very hard thing to do. And congratulations, you've overcome a lot of milestones, right? And so I really think that this is another example of how sharing our poetry can remind us that one thing we do all have in common is being human, right? Everybody has something that you have to overcome. And so if nothing else, you can always take compassion. Thank you for sharing your truth, Say.
Thank you very, very much. We appreciate it. And we are going to get the scores in now.
Scores don't matter.
Scores don't matter, scores matter.
Scores matter.
Scores don't matter.
We
The
don't
art
care about
matters.
scores.
So let's say the art is
Scores.
most important. The scores come right after that, only because it's a slam.
It's the art. It's
That's
the
it.
art.
So we appreciate you, artists, regardless.
Regardless.
Well, I'm so glad I'm not a judge.
But we need the scores.
We do.
But we love you guys, and you're doing great.
Thank you. Thank you, judges. Thank you, artists. I'm waiting on 2
We got 3. We need 2.
more scores. I got 3. I might have 4. Hold on. I might just not be able to
We
count.
might have 4. Almost at 5. So with that
There we
being
go.
said, it's going to be time for another sacrifice and another poet. Oh my gosh, you
I think
guys
we're
are
gonna
just
do the next poet first, because remember we got that
filled
6th
up
one
with
now.
this.
We got the 6th one.
Okay, we got
So
6
we're gonna
now.
have,
So
we're
we're
gonna
gonna
have
go
the
ahead and
next
do another
slam
one.
artist. And yeah, we're gonna do
Okay.
the slam artist next.
And then
And then we'll do sacrificial after that. So
okay.
I think
So
we
there are
have
2 rounds. So there are 2.
so the top 4 scores, we actually have 6 competitors. So the top 4 scores will advance to the second round, and we will announce that at the end of the first round.
So there are 2 rounds total, right?
Only 2 rounds if you are in the top 4 that advance to the second round. 1 round is guaranteed. That's the first round for everyone. And then the top 4 scores will advance to the second round. And we'll let you know who those people are after
Okay.
the last artist performs.
Okay.
Okay?
I wish I. Okay.
All
Bye,
right.
girl.
So, no problem. So just to let you know, as I said, scores don't matter, but we do have a final score there.
We do.
And it is an 18. Please give it up for the artist. Thank you, thank you, thank you very much. An 18 even.
We dropped the high and the low. And
Dropped the
we kept
high and the low. We
everything that
kept
was
it all in
reasonable
the middle.
between, because this is about the arts.
There we go. Now
This is about the points.
Yeah, it is. We're ready for our third slam artist. We're on the third one. Did you know that?
We are going to have our third slam artist who's going to be up, which we already said was going to be Marie Ann. But then on deck, we are going to also go ahead and we are going to have Vialcy. So we're going to have Marie Ann, who's going to come up next, and she's going to go ahead and share with us. And then after that, we are going to have Vialcy. Give it up for the next poet coming to the mic, Marie Ann.
Hi, I'm going to give you 13 stripes. Your little horse to call me this morning to tell your story, Zebra. Zebra in pajamas. Tell me about the savannas. Zebra. Zebra running fast down the grassy vales dead ends. What amoral beast or man has spooked your peaceful herd of friends? Sleepy leopards perching aloft, open their eyes but missed your rump. Whiskers of her clothes, they fell soft, snarling at the speeding shaft. What amoral beast or man has spooked your peaceful herd of friends? Zebra. Zebra stopping at last to graze around the vale's dead ends. Feline lions stalking their prey, hiding under the canopy. Headwing blowing their scent away, draw close. And you gray slap happy? Fancy, trendy in savannah zebra. Zebra, you silly horse. Aren't you a little too hoarse to tell stories in pajamas? Snap! A twig breaks. Fuzzy ears twitched. 2 swift lionesses pounced on your black stripes. Missed by an inch. Faster, you saved your skin this once. My cunning horse, repranced, of course, Zebra. Zebra in pajamas, fastest reflex in savannas. Survival was your thriving force. Stung by horseflies, the wildebeest reeled away from the waterhole. Your stripes were your shield at nightfall. Bite free, you always drank in peace. Zebra, zebra in pajamas. You lucky horse, you pranced, of course. Fancy, trendy in savannas. Wild man styles, no silk, all coarse. Are there more black in your white stripes, or are there more white stripes than black? Striking smart horse, dressed in pinstripes, smooth you blur the lines of leaves and bark. Bleached and tall, the grass blades hid you. Jeeps and men with guns roamed near. Stood still as their dangerous crew killed. The zebra disappeared. Zebra, zebra, you lonely horse. Behind zoo bars, you cry, of course. Zebra, Zebra, you miss the plains where warm winds brush black and white manes.
Thank you. Okay, Miss Marie Ann, Zebra in Pajamas. I like that. You know, right?
That was very nice and such a different. You're such a character. I love your soothing voice, and I think you can narrate amazing stories.
When you went to
agree.
changing the voices, I was like, okay, wait a minute. I felt like I was right in it. I'm like, okay, now we got this. Now we got
The
this
whole
one. I like
production.
that.
All right, come through.
Zebra in Pajamas. Thank you. I'm giving the judges time to get me their scores in, but thank you very much because we don't care about the scores. We care about the artists.
We
Miss
want the
Marie
money.
Ann.
Give us the scores.
Thank you so very much.
We just
Is
love
it that's your
art.
spirit animal? Awesome. I like that. I really
That
like
was
that.
sweet. I did too.
And that worked with the takeaway you're talking about.
Yes, it did.
It did. All right, I have 2 scores in. Thank you, judges, for being so on top of things. We are only waiting on 3 more. The pressure's on. 3 judges.
No pressure.
Pressure's on.
Just words.
All the pressure.
All the pressure. No worries.
Oh, look at y'all. Okay, I think we only need 2 more scores
2
now.
more.
2 more. That's
Okay,
it.
well, y'all better get ready, poets, because we're gonna zip, zam, zoom, keep this thing going in the room.
I have 1. I have 2. I have 3. I understand, and so I just say, do your best.
Yep, we gotta judge with what we got. Things happen,
I
life happens.
need
you
1
gotta judge the
more
best you can.
score. Just 1 more.
Just 1 more, because then we can get to Vialsi, and then we're gonna have Bhavya after that.
We're just gonna keep it
And then
moving.
we're gonna close it out with Nesrin and Carrie Ann. So we
And
just
this
gotta
is like
keep it
literally,
going.
we're going, ready. I think we need 1 more score. Did I
Hello?
miss it? 1, 2, 3, 4. No, I did not miss it. I am
She
waiting
didn't
on
miss a
just
beat.
1 score.
We just need 1 score so we can drop that high, drop that low, take everything that's sensible in between.
If you know you didn't send the score, judges, it's on you. Last judge, waiting on you. All eyes on you. Not really, because we don't.
But
Everybody
really.
doesn't know who it is.
But really, we're looking, we're waiting, we're watching, we're peeking, we're saying, hey, can we have your score?
But let me see who it is. So I
Let me
know.
find out who it is. Who
Okay,
was it?
let me
Who was it?
check.
Check your notes. Whose spirit animal is non-responsive? Whose spirit animal don't want
Oh,
to give back?
never
votes?
mind. I messed up. That was on me.
It was her. She messed up. It
Because
wasn't
that judge
you.
went so fast at first.
You were
that
so
it was like,
prompt.
shoo.
Efficiency.
My bad.
Hello. Get it together, Bree. I got
Sorry.
her. She's gathered.
Sorry about that, guys.
We got
Okay.
scores.
We dropped the low score.
We dropped the low.
We dropped the high score.
Get rid of the high.
And we have a drum
What we
roll,
got?
please. Drum roll, please. 25 even for Marie. And clap it up for the artist. 25 points. That is so far our highest score of round 1, Miss Marie Ann Zebras in Pajamas. Go ahead. Great job.
That was a really good
You
score.
like that, huh? I like that
Yeah,
25.
she had me beat on my MacBook for that. I gotta start.
I was like, I feel like I need to write something and then see if I can get some. Y'all not gonna score me. I'm good.
No, no.
We're gonna go on to the next artist for this slam.
Nope, not scoring me today.
Who's next?
We're gonna have next VLC, but we're gonna have on deck Nesrin, and then we're gonna have
Nope.
Carrie
we ain't gonna talk
Ann.
about it. No.
Okay, fine.
No way.
Well, we're gonna have on deck Nesrin. But right now, we're gonna have VLC. So, you guys, give it up for the next poet coming to the mic. VLC.
VLC.
A story told through Sistina, the brother that was. I have gone a decade without seeing my half-brother. How quickly a week turned into 10 years. How quickly I forgot what he was like. Time has dimmed the details of what I thought I knew to the point that I don't know who he was. I don't know who he is. So where does that leave me? Don't base your happiness off others. People have told me. I try not to, but being told you have 2 brothers your whole life, not knowing who one was until he came just when you needed him most. The years before being a teen, it's like he knew he could guide me through what things were going to be like. If he had gotten to know what life was like for our family in the time after the promises he made me, I wonder what he would have promised instead. If he knew that for years I would grieve him, hope for him, my brother, waiting for the day that he calls back, for the years to melt away and time to reverse, to combine what is and what was. Thank God that I am no longer who I was. The girl I used to be did not like to know her place, would think herself wise beyond her years. I have a better sense of who I am. I'm proud of me. I wish I could go back and tell my brother she thought she needed you, but I think he knew. I clung to his promises with all I knew. They told me all about who he was. Musical, funny, magnetic, friendly brother that I could admire and love, but also like. Someone in the family with the same loves as me. If I let go now, what will I have left from those years? I don't know why he stopped contact after only 2 years of getting to finally know him. I wish and don't wish I knew something happened to disappoint 11-year-old me. If I ever find out exactly what it was, she would still know what hurt and disappointment tastes like. The bitterness that comes whenever someone mentions the other brother. I'd like to think I've let go over the years, released some of the burden, hard to forgive as it was. He answered a call once, was going to tell me what he knew. Had to hang up early, call back soon. You know what fatherhood is like. I know through his actions, he does not see me even as a half sister, but I'll keep longing for my quarter brother.
Yes.
The quarter.
I knew you
brother.
had. I knew.
I knew she was gonna come with that.
I knew you
But
was.
we can't influence the judges.
Okay, fine.
You gotta bring it down.
Be influenced.
Very good job, BLZ.
You did great.
We're gonna snap.
Give her points.
We're
Give her
gonna snap
points.
like real cool snap.
Points is money.
Cool snap. Like wait for those judges to get their scores in. Then
That's
we
right,
can go ahead
Nesrin.
and-
Run it up for her. Run it up for
There
her.
we go. All right.
Points don't matter. Give her the points. Woo. We don't care
We
about
have
the score.
Three, I got 3 scores in. I got 3 in already.
We need 5.
I know. I probably got 5. I gotta look. Hold
3
on.
ain't enough. We also need all 5
We
scores.
might
Then we'll
have
drop the high,
five.
drop
Let's
the low,
see.
and keep
That's
everything
one,
good in between.
That's 2. That's 3.
Hold on. We need 2
hold
more.
On, hold on. Let me see. Do we?
I know somebody
Oh,
sent
wait,
it.
that's
Up.
4.
Hot biscuits and potatoes. I see comments in the chats.
That's 5
Yeah,
scores
we got
right
5
there.
scores right there. 5 scores and 2 fly earrings.
We're
We
gonna
all
drop
see you
up.
one already.
What are we gonna drop?
The low
The low
and the high.
high.
And what are we gonna keep?
The 3 in the
good
middle.
stuff in the
And what do we have? What do we have? What do we have? Drum roll. 27 points. Awesome. Great
I'm in
job.
love with this
The whole
entire
everything.
scenario. This
All
whole
of this.
everything of all of it and the poetry.
I am
is
so
just
glad I'm
like-
hosting and not judging. Oh my goodness.
I
Y'all would come after me afterwards. I'd be like, I don't know.
see you
Everyone
guys
gets 1s,
asking-
everyone gets 10s. I don't know.
see you guys asking when you're gonna perform, but the list is closed.
We stopped the spam
We're
list
going
in
into
the
round
beginning,
2
guys.
soon.
I'm sorry.
But you get the beauty of listening to all of this wonderful poetry that'll be replayed on the Lit Fest page. So just know that what you saw is internationally famous already. I mean, I'm just saying it's going to be on the net. So,
And I'm sorry, I didn't see your name on a sign up list. However, if you are interested in sacrificing, then we can slide you on in before the end of this slam for sure.
yeah, we did first,
Mr.
second,
Lee.
third, fourth, and fifth, and sixth
a
and
whole
seventh
lot.
begging.
I
track.
know, we're trying to get everybody in. So we do have
I
a
begged, I
closed
asked.
list for the slam because we are down to our last 3.
We're down to our last 3, 2 of which
And that means
is
we're
going
gonna
to
have to like
be
speed it up.
Nesrin and then Bavia, and then we're
You're
going
not
to close
saying
out with
nothing else,
3.
never.
Yeah,
You know,
did
you always
that.
don't follow the
Tell them.
rules.
It's fine, breaking rules.
Oh,
That's what made me a poet.
Are you ready to announce
I'm
the next
ready.
person and then the person that's on deck?
Okay, fine.
So this out's gonna go first before she announces
Pay
the names.
attention.
We have 3 more people for this round.
3 more people.
Then we're dropping the last 2, the lowest 2 scores.
That's it. Chop,
We're
chop.
only having a second round.
Only round 2.
So the last second round is gonna speed up a little. You will still have
Gather
your 3 minutes.
yourself.
We won't do as much talking in between. We just can't help ourselves.
We'll do a little.
Just a little bit.
You'll be engaged.
But last 3 for this round, drop the 2 lowest scores, then we'll jump right into the second round, and it's gonna go in reverse order, meaning if you went first the first round and you make it to the second, you will go last on the second round. And we'll tell you what the order is ahead of time, but we're gonna make sure that we not speed it up, we'll speed it up.
Speed it up.
All right. So
All right.
who's next?
Next, we're going to have Nesrin, but then we're going to have on deck Bavia. So give it up for the next poet coming to the mic, Nesrin. Woo!
I believe there's power within poetry. Even though a poet has written something original, their words are still universal. That's what makes poetry so beautiful. So take this moment to hear what my pages have to say and understand how writing has helped me comprehend my darkest days. I am a poet. My inner child loves horses. I understand that achieving success isn't always a happy gallop or stride, yet there's still mistakes that I can't abide. Regret, it can consume or fuel me. It's a double-edged sword, you see. One moment, it's soul-killing. Another moment, it's life-changing. I was ignorant until I realized the world is something we can't summarize. There's simply not enough time. There are things we'll never discover. We'll never see all that the world has to offer. That leaves me in a state of melancholy and wonder. Melancholy is to open the window for the first time in the day and you find yourself staring at a sunset. To stay up long enough at night to hear a rainstorm from start to finish. Sometimes we don't need a clock to tell us how much time we've missed. Nature is that stern but kind mentor in our lives with the reminders we need. When I was a kid, parks were a fun and lively place. I could never get enough of the slides. I always had a cheerful smile on my face. Now, I'm an adult, and parks have become my escape. I keep going on the swings and swing so high, hoping that it'll free me from this world and launch me into space. Wish I could go back in time and be carefree again. Actors smile and cry when they finish a play. Why can't we finish our lives the same way? When it's time for the ultimate curtain call, why can't we be proud of ourselves deep down from the soul? If everything occurred with complete perfection, there would be no need for introspection. Therefore, if we seek to understand humanity, we must learn to embrace our humility. A house is a house, but a family makes a home. A body is a body, but a soul makes it worthy. Work hard to the point you're a positive influence, to the point people quote you, to the point quotation marks become wings, wings for your words so they fly off pages and touch the souls of many.
Words that fly off pages. I'm just glad to be in this slam, and that's all I'm gonna say because I'm one of the hosts, and I'm not gonna say much.
This is the hardest part about hosting. We have to do this whole be impartial so we make sure we don't influence one way or the other. We're not gonna influence one way or the other, but we say dope is dope.
I just think dope is dope, and all I know is I love animals right now, and I'm excited to be a writer to make words come off pages, and I'm loving life, and I'm gonna embrace my half and quarter family, and I'm gonna tell my amazing stories about all my triumphs too, because y'all are some dope people. Y'all like how I incorporated all the poems into one?
I see how you did that. I like how you did that.
Because we keep this thing moving and grooving.
And you know who else keeps it moving and grooving? These judges, because we got all 5 scores in already. Y'all 5 scores in already. Woo, now y'all gonna make me add. Jenny said, caught that how you did that.
You caught that. Let me throw you something else.
All right, now I gotta add these together in my head.
That's okay. You got this. You got this. And while she does this, I'm gonna let you guys know who's gonna be next to do this and come through this. Will be Bobby, and then we're gonna close it out with Carrie Ann. But I think we got something great going on. If I understand, because it looks like she's got the scores. Can you read them, ma'am?
I got this. I'm looking to make sure. Did I add that correct? I believe that is.
Did you see that?
Yeah, that would be a drum roll, please. Let's get that drum roll.
I'm checking them
Final
out.
score of 27.25. Give it up for Nesrin.
All right, y'all. Woo! Y'all come through. We got a little bit more work to do. Don't give up on me yet. We've got somebody who is going to share with us, and then we've got one more to share with us, and then you guys got to get a little bit prepared for us because we're going into round 2, so don't be scared of us.
It's gonna go fast.
Now, I need you to give it up for the next poet on the mic, Fabia.
All right, Fabia.
Lotus Temple. Lotus is a symbol of peace. And Lotus Temple, a tranquil place. Crowd of thousands sitting in, but sense no bit of hum or resonance. Green fields spread all around, do appear like green petals, covering the lotus flower in midst, having petals of white marble. White marble clad petals of lotus give 9-sided circular shape, has 9 doors to enter a huge hall with no statue, picture, or image. Open to people of all religions, it is amazing religious art. The joined petals point out to us how we can join our hearts. The temple gives clear message. Despite of religion, love each other. Like petals combined together, make a lovely and exquisite flower. Great architect, Verbiz Sabah has graced Baha'i community to fulfill their religious purpose and gifted to an icon to New Delhi city.
I know, I was
all
waiting for
fast
the music to
enough.
come out so I can give my reaction. Oh my goodness, thank you so much. I really am enjoying these pieces. You are amazing, Bobby, just like all of the other poets. I love to hear different perspectives and topics. So this is amazing. You guys get your votes ready. You should have your votes in. It's been 30 seconds. What are you waiting for?
I got 3 of them in.
3 out of 5. 3 out of 5 ain't bad, but that ain't all we need. We got to get to 5 of 5 because 5 out of 5 is how we drop 2 and keep 3 in the middle. You guys give me what we need. We need 2 more, 1 more. How many more do we need, Reed?
We need 2 more.
We need 2 more because 2 people haven't given their votes and there's 2 more judges. Give us what we need, please.
Oh,
Bobby has
there's
done
1. I
well.
only need 1 more.
Bobby has done so well. It shouldn't take you guys that long. We got 4, which means we only need 1 more. We're going to drop the low, drop the high, keep what's sensible in between. We're just waiting on y'all to give us those numbers.
Oh,
we're closing out with Carrie Ann.
Hold on, where's my other side? Yes, Allison. Yes, that's still fine. And I believe I got my last. 1 moment.
All righty, you guys.
I'm sorry, give me 1 second, please. I have to, give me just a second. Drop that low score, drop that high score.
Okay, we got it.
Forget the scores, because we really care about the art, right?
No, we care about the art.
We care about the art.
But we need
But we
the
gotta
scores.
tell them the scores anyway.
We need the scores.
Please give it up 1 more time for Bavia with the final score of 21.5. Clap it up, clap it up, clap it up.
Thank you. Very good.
Thank you.
All right, and we're gonna close out round 1 with Carrie Ann. Go ahead and give it up for the next poet coming to the mic, Carrie Ann.
You guys have one other poet that you skipped over, just to let you know. Did you hear that? Hello?
I can hear you.
Oh, okay, yeah, you missed somebody. He put it in the chat. His name starts with an E. I just don't, he was supposed to go next.
Hold on. So at 5:45, when we called for signups, is when everyone who was interested in performing needs to be here. So that my thing is for everyone. I want to make sure that I tried to make sure everyone was clear about this before. When you guys initially RSVP'd for this event, it was to either attend or participate or compete in the slam, but that the signups for the slam would start at 5:45. So the RSVP was simply to be able to be included in the Zoom in the event at all. And then you needed to actually be here at the starting time to sign up. And we extended that sign up time for another maybe 25 minutes beyond when we were going to start. So initially we were going to have only signups happen from 5:45 until 6 o'clock. And we were just gonna hit the ground running at 6. Since we didn't have enough people at that time signing up, we extended that time
even more
and waited for other people to come on. And so one thing we're gonna do, number one, is we always keep it positive here, but we always keep it fair. And so I, as well as Nutrice, will scroll. This is the beauty of having Zoom and having the chats and being able to save them is so much more helpful than when we're in person having to remember things off the top of our heads. So we will, while the next artist is competing, we'll definitely scroll back up to the chat where we asked for final call for anybody who was interested in performing and see if in fact we did miss anyone. And if we did, blame it on our heads, not our hearts. And we will make sure to include you. However, if when we scroll through, we realize that we did in fact call for request and get our final lineup and list at that point, then, and I'm really sorry you feel that way, but like I said, we stay positive here. So I've already said, if I see that we missed you inadvertently, I will definitely go ahead and add you in to the end of the first round. If that was not the case, I would love for you to share your piece as a sacrificial poet. And if that's not something that you guys would want to do, then I totally understand that. And we'll keep it moving. But I don't want to detract from anybody's performance time. So we're going to let the final artist so far of this round go ahead and perform next. And I will let you know if there are any changes after that.
Evan, just hang on. There's no BS. We don't want to be aggressive though. So let's watch our language. Don't use terms like that. Be respectful to us. We're women and we are respectful to everybody else. So don't use terms like that. There's no BS, but there is a need to just track things. So she's going to do a favor and check the chat, but somebody else already helped us clarify that you signed up before the thing started. But when we clarified, there's no record of clarification. So she's just going to check for us and see what's going to work out.
But in the meantime,
we want everybody to participate. So those who have already signed up, we're going to go ahead and get that next person on.
And who was that?
And then we'll keep it moving from there. So next we have on closing out this list, Carrie Ann.
I believe that was the next
let's go ahead and
right?
get to it. Carrie Ann, please, you guys give it up for the next poet on the mic. Carrie Ann.
God, how I loved all the things that made you who you were. I loved how your hair started too far back on your scalp, and how your nose took up too much of your face, and how you never cooked my scrambled eggs long enough, and how even though you were in a band, you sometimes sang off key and never even realized it. In all your little imperfect ways, you were absolutely perfect, but you never failed to remind me that I was far from it. There was that moment. You walked into the garage as I stood over the washer sorting your clothes. The scent of lilac dryer sheets drifted through the air, and you shook your head and you said, "Don't use those anymore. You have the dryer heat too high. Now the heat's too low. God, I should just do it myself." So I stopped. And then you followed me into the bedroom and watched as I folded your t-shirts. I shook them out and split them in half and tucked them under with ever so much care. And you shook your head and you said, "You shouldn't do it like that. It leaves wrinkles and creases that I'll never be able to get out. God, I should just do it myself." So I stopped. And I can't forget the time you crept up behind me in the kitchen and wrapped your arms around my waist as I cooked dinner. I grabbed the bottle of olive oil and drizzled circles in the pan. And you shook your head and you said, "You use too damn much. You're wasting oil. It won't taste right. God, I should just do it myself." So I stopped. And I shook my head and I told you to cook your own fucking dinner. And then one day, you flicked on the light switch to find me hiding under the blankets. I could barely drag myself out of bed because nothing I did was ever good enough. And you told me right then how perfect I was and how much you loved me. And I kicked off the blankets, ready to get up and face life again. And I said, "I love you too." And you shook your head and you said, that right there, the way you say it, the second word higher than the first, "I love you," it proves you don't mean it when you say it. So I stopped. Thank you.
So I stopped.
Oh my God, Carrie Ann.
So I stopped. Wow. I mean, good job.
Let me be level. And then put on my
Impartial.
whole space. You just gotta live. Some stuff you have to live in order to understand and to be able to have some stuff to write. It just comes with time. Thank you for
And it's
sharing.
crazy because some of the
Thank you
most
for sharing.
depressing topics make some of the
But
best
it's the most powerful pieces,
pieces.
though. It can inspire people in some of the most positive ways. Like the thing that was your end of the road down in the dumps tunnel of darkness can be somebody else's way out and their source of light, which
That
is why
part.
it's so important that we have this exchange of energy, because you really literally never understand the impact of your words. Thoughts are things, right? Words become thoughts that are realized in real time and becomes things that happen that you can't undo. And this is how we exist. And so the power of words is just priceless.
We're
With
waiting
that being
on,
said,
give me one.
we're waiting on one. Reed's
So I'm
checking.
waiting on one.
She got almost all
more,
the
I think.
scores.
Okay, I got the last one in, so give me just
Okay,
a
she got the
moment.
last one in. She's gonna drop that high, drop that low, keep everything that makes sense in between, which is really what we gotta do with life too. You guys are gonna get some high scores and some low scores. You're gonna have some great days and some bad days. You're gonna have some amazing things and some terrible things. But if COVID has taught you anything, it should teach you that you gotta learn to let all that go and keep what's in the middle. And what's always in the middle is you and being present with whatever you believe. So
You know what else is in the middle?
that's it, this score.
B score.
Hello.
Give it up, drum roll, please, drum roll. A score for the first round for Carrie Ann of 28 points. Give it up one more time for the artist and the art and the score. Woo! Judges, y'all drive a hard bargain.
Ooh, okay.
And now, because we are very, very much in the interest of being fair, being right, being righteous.
We're fair, we're righteous.
We are.
We're even kind and gracious.
Sometimes.
We try.
A little bit.
I like to.
Although not verbally confirmed when Natrice and I got on and started asking about the slam, we're going to go ahead and allow for the last artist to round out round one, because apparently there was some discussion prior to everyone else being on about this artist wanting to confirm. Just remember, moving forward, guys, we need everyone on at the time that we are on here and raring to go. Otherwise, and we're going to be doing this with Lost Procedures for a long time to come. That's why I say moving forward, we won't be making any changes at the end, but we do want to make sure that we ascribe to the fairness and things
And
that
just
we're
to have
set.
a heart, right?
And we're
Have a
set,
heart.
beforehand. So
Evan, I hope
we
you're
will
ready
have
to go.
Evan go ahead and round out round one. What this means, however, is we will be dropping the lowest 3 scores for the second round.
Yep.
And we will continue on as we said, rather than the lowest 2 scores. So after he finishes, we are not going to take any time in between. We're going to have Evan finish it out. I'm going to be tallying up those scores while our sacrifice goes, and then we're going right into the final ones for the second round. And that'll be it.
That'll be that.
That's okay though, because we're here for the art, we're here for the scores, we're here for you.
We're here for the scores.
And now we're here for Evan.
And now
Wait, so the second, oh, sorry.
Evan.
Give it up for Evan, give it up for Evan.
This poem I'm gonna tell you is one of my favorite poem that I spoke in the last Poetry Slam. It's a spin-off version of Romeo and Juliet. It's a big love story. If no one knows Romeo and Juliet, it's written by William Shakespeare, and I am a big fan of him, and I decided to make a spin-off of it. So I'm gonna read it. So it says, roses are red, violet is blue, jasmine is pink, magnolia is yellow. Yet so perfect, Juliet, and you falling, Juliet. Love is at sight, but I am suffering through the delight of being blinded by light. Oh, the pain, Juliet. Unfortunately, tragedy struck. I was slain by you, Juliet, by your love, Juliet. Your love pierced me through the cove, Juliet. Your kiss is like poison to me. Oh, I'm so dead from you. But please, Juliet, I do love you. Please take my love, Juliet. I'm insane by your beauty, my love. Please take my love. Just please take my love. That's my poem.
Thank you for closing that out.
Thank you, Evan, for closing out round one. Yes.
Woo, got all those jitters out. Thank you very much. Appreciated. We are looking for 4 more scores.
We showed up for the
I have my quick judge gets the scores in fast.
That quick judge came for
time.
the numbers. But the other 4 came for the art. We're here for the art.
Romeo and Juliet, Juliet, Romeo.
No, Remy, my
Montague,
scores.
Capulet, like Montalet.
Right? 1 or 2.
Cappy.
9 or 10. 1 or 2.
I'm gonna put them 2 together.
9 or 10.
All right, we need 1 more.
We need 1 more so we can drop
there
that
we
high,
go.
drop that
Drop that high,
keep
drop
in
that
between.
low, and it looks like we dropped that one right there. We dropped that one right there. We add up the middle, and I have a grand total of It doesn't matter what the score is. We appreciate the art, but we gotta give
Nope,
you the
but we
score
want the
anyway.
score, give
So
them
that
the
means
score.
we have a total of 15.8. Give it up one more time for the artist, please, y'all.
Thank you.
Woo, y'all did it, you did it, you did it. And now, I gotta add all of this up. And I'm not gonna take you guys' time to do that while I'm adding up, because what we're gonna do instead is
We're gonna have a sacrificial.
we're gonna have a sacrificial poet go, because we are ready to jump right into round 2. However,
Round
after
2.
the sacrificial poet goes, I'll let you guys know we advance to the next round, because this is how we do it here, right? So be ready. Remember, we had a total of 8. We had 8 people in the first round, which means we're dropping the lowest 3 scores.
That's right.
Doesn't mean we don't like you guys, because we do. We really do. The top 5 advance to the second round, and the top 3 at the end of that second round are our winners. You guys are all winners, but you know what I mean, like our score winners. Okay?
The winners.
So, but
of the competition.
Without further ado, we are going to have our
More poetry.
sacrificial poet by the name of Allison. Go ahead, Allison. Get us going.
Wait, who's gonna go to the next round?
I just said I'm
after
going to announce that after the sacrificial poet is done, but we're going to need to make sure that you stay muted while everyone is performing. I will announce the 3 scores that actually we're not going to make it past the first round. That doesn't mean we don't like you, doesn't mean we didn't like your art. Blame the judges. But we're going to announce that after this sacrificial poet is finished performing. Okay? Go take it away, Ms. Allison.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, I was gonna say you're on mute. You're good now.
Okay, here we go. Where is that? Oh. Beer cans that stood in the wind before being smashed by an iron fist. Ashy knees and penny candy. Secrets whispered in the dark. Business spilled onto the street like sangre. But she was strong. So strong that the baby was unharmed after she'd taken a beating. The night the cop car came for you, Tio, and grandma wailed. I never saw her like that. And you again, Tio, the last time I saw you. Arms buffed, head shaved, skin like coffee with just a smidget of cream, exquisitely handsome and tough. Silent as great-grandmother's picture, the one they called Squaw, strong as her shoulders. Braiding my grandmother's and Tio's hair and touching, pulling, plaiting, weaving strands like baskets on top of their heads, smearing oil like salve on their worrisome souls. I noticed the texture. Unlike mine, theirs was soft. Touching, pulling, plaiting, parting spaces. I made a line right down the middle, cornrows on each side, like the crops in her yard. I noticed your tattoos, faded, muted. Unlike the tracks that ran up and down your forearms and ended in between your toes. I wish you'd taken a different train, Tio, but I know it was the one closest.
Girl! And you decided to sacrifice instead of just actually competing.
How come, Wifo?
You playing.
With who, not me? I already knew better.
Go ahead, Miss Allison.
When the poet got AKA on their Zoom name, you've been warned.
I'm OG. I'm old school. You guys weren't even born when I was slamming.
All the more reason why you need to lead the way.
Hello, leader teacher.
Come on now.
Hello, goddess creature.
Thank
you know you should.
I love trees.
Should have been slamming. You should have been slamming like.
Next time I'll be at Las Positas again.
All right. That's right.
That's what
I just want you to find me wherever they get me to slam a host or anything, and you just come and just be. That was amazing.
You and
Thank you.
We're only dropping one score for you because you just dope like that.
Because you dope like that.
Kind of how we do it right now.
That's how we do.
We're just gonna drop that low score.
Just that low.
Just
Keep
that
all
low
else.
score.
Keep all else.
Which means our sacrificial poet for the second round has a grand total of 28.2. Give it up for Allison. 28.2.
Las Positas likes that
I've
28.
seen
Y'all like that
you.
28. Well, 8 and 2
Ooh,
is 10.
if she was competing, she'd had a high score tonight so far, but we're not gonna say nothing about
But
that.
I ain't gonna tell nobody else.
What we are gonna do, however, is tell you guys who has advanced to the second round. But first, we're gonna tell you a good thank you, a huge thank you to the 3 scores people, not the scores, but the 3 lowest scores, as we told you guys, was going to be dropping those poets from advancing to the second round. But we want to make sure we acknowledge you. We appreciate you. We applaud you because doing this is not easy in any way, shape, or form. So the artists who will, we're not even gonna say the artists who will not be advancing, because we're going to let you guys know the 5 artists who will be advancing to the next round.
Right.
In, do you know particular order?
No,
or
we're
do I
gonna-
do in order?
We'll do an order of scores.
Low to high?
Low to
high to
high.
low?
Low to high.
Low to high?
A lot of hope.
The 5 artists who will be advancing, we're not gonna tell you the scores, but low to high advancing to the second round will be
Bavia, Marie Ann, Vialci, Nezrin, and Carrie Ann. We're gonna have Bavia.
we are
Marie
going
Ann,
to not only
Vialci,
clap it up
Nezrin,
for
and Carrie Ann.
those 5, but we are gonna clap it up for the other artists that actually performed, competed in the first round. Please
That's
give
right.
it up for Frankie J, Evan, and Say Joy. Thank you guys so very, very much for
Thank you,
competing. It's
guys.
not easy.
Thank you.
We appreciate you regardless. But remember what we said, this is a what?
It's a competition.
It's a competition, which means you have some winners and you have some not. so
Some
many
people not
winners.
getting prizes.
Right, that's okay though.
That's right.
Because the artist prize had disorder
Yes, and the points
and the points.
and the bragging rights.
But you guys are awesome
So let's
because
get
you are
back to it.
recorded, you are here, you did this, and it will be available for people to experience beyond just this slam. So clap it up for yourselves, and we will let you know right now the order for the second round. We're gonna move through it. It's gonna go quickly, and I'm gonna tell you all 5 in order right now.
So you can know.
First up is gonna be
It's gonna be Carrie Ann.
next,
Bavia.
next,
Vialci.
next.
Marie Ann.
There we go. And
Nezrin.
there we go. 5 people in order: Carrie Ann, Bavia, Vialci, Marie Ann, and Nezrin. We will not have any sacrificial poets in between these artists, so judges, stay ready. You ain't gotta
get ready.
That's what I'm talking about. We're
Hello.
gonna give you a second to breathe, only a minute. You don't need much more than that. Air is everywhere. Breathe. If you have some water or something in front of you, grab it. If you know you are not performing for a couple people, then please go ahead and get you something to drink now. Check your mics. Make sure you do your own little sound check real quick before we get started, because if we can't hear you, we can't stop you to tell you we can't hear you. We got to let you
Last
keep
round.
going. And I really don't want you to lose any time or any points for us not being able to hear you. So for the 5 artists who are going to be going, let's do a quick sound check real quick, real fast, and in a hurry. Miss Carrie Ann, can you hear us? And let's see if we can hear you.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Perfect. Thank you very much. Bavia, can you hear us? Can we hear you? We need to hear you. I gotta make sure your mic is good.
I'm good.
Perfect. Thank you very much. And Vialci?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Sure can. And Marie Ann?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Wonderfully clear, my dear. And Nezrin?
I hear you loud and clear.
Okay. You can speak when it's your turn, speak a tad bit. There you go. I see you moving towards it.
Right.
You're already set and good to go.
Thank you.
Thank you again. So just another quick reminder, the 5 advancing: Carrie Ann, Bavia, Vialci, Marie Ann, and Nezrin, in that order. We will tell you again when it's your turn, so be ready. This is the second round, and remember the winners, it's going to be your scores combined from the first and second round. All right, this is it. Ready?
Ready.
Who's up?
We're going to have, first up, Carrie Ann.
Clap it up for Carrie Ann, y'all.
This is a paradise, a fixed form poem. My tired feet dance upon the wishing mountain. My tired feet dance upon the wishing mountain, waiting for the moment you'll be gone, waiting for the moment you'll be gone. Feet wishing upon the moment, gone for the dance. My tired mountain, you'll be waiting. I heard empty words in my mind, they dangled from my ears. I heard empty words in my mind, they dangled from my ears. You said you were sorry, but could not state why. You said you were sorry, but could not state why. My mind state I could empty you. You said words in sorry ears. They were not heard, but dangle from my lie. I draped a crisp white sheet over your body. I draped a crisp white sheet over your body. You resembled a piece of furniture in an abandoned house. You resembled a piece of furniture in an abandoned house, a house in white, an abandoned sheet draped over furniture. I resembled you, a piece of your crisp body. You could not, your body, you were you. You'll be why my sorry feet, they dance over empty ears, upon the house, the sheets, furniture. In a piece of my mountain, I dangle for you, white, crisp, draped in words. Wishing, waiting from a tired state, I said my mind resembled an abandoned moment, gone but heard. Thank you.
Thank you, Carrie Ann. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you, Carrie Ann.
Judges,
Beautiful,
if we can
thank
get
you.
those scores. Thank you. I got the first score in. I told you we're going to do less talk and banter in between because I know we are going to be over time. I'm so sorry, Toby and Richard. I don't want anybody to lose out on their artistry and all that. So we'll pull back on ours for a moment in interest of you guys. But very good job.
And read the chat, guys. There's some cool comments and things going on in the chat.
All right. I have all 5 scores in. Judges are on point right now.
All right.
We dropped that low.
Drop that high.
We dropped that high.
Keep everything good in between.
And we have a final score of 26 points even. Second round score of 26 points even. Thank you very much, Miss Carrie Ann.
All
and
right.
we are on
Wow. Thank you, Miss Carrie Ann.
the next.
Fabia, give it up for the next poet to the mic.
Let's go, Fabia. Thank you.
So I'm going to be sharing my sound poem I did for my class. Michael, what's in the name? I can't stop imagining pictures of you. I feel lonely just thinking about you. My head starts to scrabble. I can feel hopefulness and not let go of this feeling. I feel so close to you that my heart beats rapidly. And with every emotion I face, I feel touched and gracefully. Oh, Michael, how could I ever miss what we had before? I wish we could start over and get along from a fresh new slate. I remember the memories we had. I remember the moments that played in my head. And I still cannot lose track of what I see anymore. Why do I keep longing for you when you have lost the image of me? Why do I still pretend to think that everything feels okay? Our picture has broken apart, yet I am in sourness while you make me feel like oversea. I'm not completely over, but will always be unforgotten. The day when I learn to move on and go forward will be the day I never been forgotten by one who has made me feel in total warmness.
Fabia.
Thank you, Fabia. That was beautiful. Thank you for sharing. Very nice.
Judges are on it. I got 1 score in.
All right.
4 more.
They're getting it in. It's coming through.
Oh yeah, judges are on it now. I have 3 scores in, waiting on, I got 4 scores, 5. We have all 5 scores in. These judges are
All
on
right.
point right now.
ONIT on it.
There
So we
we
can
go.
drop the high, drop the low.
Drop the
keep
high,
that in
drop the low.
between.
Looks like we have a total of, look, I'm like, hold on. Oh, okay. A total of 20.2. Congratulations. Good job. Fabia. I do my math over
I'm
my
checking
head.
for
I did it
y'all.
for you. I got
I'm
y'all.
checking.
Was I right?
You was
I was right. 20.2 for Fabia. Thank you, my dear. Great job.
Great job, Fabia. And next up to the mic, we have Beyonce. Give it up.
Beyonce, let's go, let's go. We need the energy to remain the same as it is now that it was in the first round, because it is not easy to sit here and wait for your turn while you're listening to everybody else perform. So we want that applause, that kudos, that all the way until the end. You're up, Beyonce.
When I think of what was stolen, it feels insurmountable. A heavy loss weighing down, a history now hard to trace, the people, all sorts of displaced. We are everywhere, all around. We are nowhere, waiting to be found. No one is being held accountable. No words exist for this level of corrosion. Those too have been taken. I am of, I am not of. I belong and I do not. All I know is what is wrong being told. It is us for so long that despite decades of onslaught, centuries where our children were untaught, sent away to schools to fall prey, fall in love with a civilized mindset, do not be mistaken. Be not mistaken, cherished ones. Civilized just means assimilated, stripped of, forced to reveal all so that someone else can steal it. They take, throw away what they find fit while they enjoy feeling powerful and tall, creating holes into which they force us to crawl. We are intoxicated, incarcerated, invalidated, called criminals, aliens, instead of daughters or sons. Words to dehumanize, rob us of our pride, of our life, then taught that our ancestors were savages, unworthy of the land and the air they inherited, just as we must consider ourselves fortunate, lucky to be American. Don't you forget it. As number one, our pride is merited. The victors write history, yet ours remain edited. What do you call unapologetic rapists and killers? Savages. In the hands of the wrong people, to be free is to be held under a knife. We are taught not to take up too much space, make ourselves small, that our traditions, tongues, and values are outdated, that disease was the cause of our downfall, not manifest destiny, greed, gluttony, or guns. Those are all ideals, part of what makes America strong. The land was here for the taking, belonging to no one. It was obvious what to do. The land was sold and bought, people and animals too, distributed and renamed thereof, renamed as a united America, to be sold in parcels and plots. For the truest believers, those whose faith are still unshaken, the government sells and buys, taxes anyone or thing that takes up space. Today you are a loyal citizen, but tomorrow you may find yourself forsaken. If you want to know what it means to not be white, but brown, it means dealing with grief and tragedies that are uncountable, that where you came from may look ratty or run down, but our spirits do not stay broken. Our thoughts can't be stolen. The word I could not find before was genocide. Their mistake, for we have survived and we will hold them accountable. This grief may feel, but is not insurmountable. The title of this poem is Genocide.
There you go.
Come through, poet. Come through, poet. I wear my shirt. That's all I'm gonna say. Whew. That's all I'm gonna say. Beyonce.
One more time for the artist, y'all. One more time for the artist while we're waiting on these scores that don't matter, but they do. Clap it up for the artist one more time, please. Awesome job. Remember, y'all, 10 is the highest we can go. That should tell you something.
Right? That's right, Rachel.
She
Represent.
said, that's my best friend.
My best friend. You better.
I love it. I love it. We are waiting on one.
We need one more so we can drop that high and low.
I didn't miss it.
Right? Make sure it wasn't you. We got it almost. We got it almost. We're so close. I think we have 4. We just need one more.
I knew I was.
Okay,
I see it. Oh, because somebody wanted to give 10,000 points.
10,000.
That's what made me miss it.
10,000.
We dropped that high score.
I just need that as a chat that I can frame one day for me. If somebody would say, I wish I could give her 10,000.
10,000. That would
even though I
work.
can only give her 10. Just frame that for me, like, you know.
I just have to announce because I think it's very important to do so. We give credit where credit is due.
Hello.
Y'all also got 3 10s, y'all.
Hello, somebody.
Woo, I want to make sure we acknowledge that because that is not easy to do. However, we gotta drop one of them because that's like
Oh.
the only because it's the rules.
Only
But
because the rules.
when we add together,
When we find
those
out.
1,000,000 points.
What she get?
She gets a 29.5, y'all. 29.5 from y'all. See? Woo!
Baby.
29.5. That
In my
so far
arena
is
book.
the high score of the night.
Yeah.
Remember, you can only get 30.
That's it.
That doesn't mean there's not another opportunity because we have another 2 artists. around
We
this
got
time,
2
right?
artists.
2
Up next,
artists.
we got Marie Ann.
Marie
You
Ann.
guys,
Are
get
you
ready
ready?
for the next poet.
Marie,
Marie Ann.
we ready, Marie Ann. Let's go.
Ooh.
Very good job, y'all.
Oh, I don't know if I can go behind Yazzie.
Whatever you're
She's
supposed
strong.
to do for us right now, Miss Marie Ann, you are good to go.
All right, more than me. What calls you beyond Run Hill? I see you stare above its line of trees. What is more than me over there? Stand still. Though for you, every day my heart I spill. You sigh, and I'm anxious you feel the breeze. What calls you beyond Run Hill? I am yours, you know it. My glass you fill. Don't drink the brew of waves and seas. What is more than me over there? Stand still. See the house we built, the children we willed. Don't they give you joy more than thrill or sprees? What calls you beyond Run Hill? Love, rest in my arms. It's kindness you feel. Feel also the truth of my tears. What is more than me over there? Stand still. Your heart has stopped when you followed your will. I fought the clutch of death, jumped your heart's freeze. What calls you beyond Run Hill? What is more than me? I'll watch for you still.
She had a line I almost see. I'm gonna have to go back and listen to it in a minute. It was about the heart not stopping until I'm gonna replay this for myself.
I know, I want to know what she said.
She had some like repeatable lines.
She did have some repeatable.
I got that. Thank you, Marie Ann. You see, we discuss these pieces like that after you finish, like that right there. I want to be able to quote that, and you
Right. That's because there's certain things you're like that part right there.
I just needed to pause you. That's the beauty of recording. I have 10. 3 scores in.
Okay.
See, I'm right
3.
about 10. I'm ready.
We need 5.
I'm ready for these 10s
We
to
got
come.
3. More
Hold
than
on.
halfway.
We probably have all of them.
We
I'm gonna
probably
keep
do.
scrolling
They're
because
prompt. They
right
know what to
now
do. We have the best judges.
we have the best audience, and
best
like
audience
you
ever.
guys as supporters are just phenomenal.
Yes, you are. Give
Judges,
yourself a
supporters,
hand.
and artists alike. Just we got all 5 scores in.
We got all 5 scores. What's that stuff in the middle say?
That stuff in the middle says something like what we got? 26.7 for Miss Marie Ann. 26.7 points. That is awesome.
This is amazing. You guys have been phenomenal. She's gonna do what she does, this magic with the numbers that she's working over
I'm
here.
saying
We got
I
one
mean,
more.
we got one
We're
more
doing the
artist.
last one.
You guys, if you
this is
have
it.
not been engaged, if you have not been entertained thoroughly, educated, valued, appreciated, all of that right now,
you missed out.
This is the time.
Because it's like this is thick of
This
the
is
thick of the
it.
thick.
This is the final artist of the Slam. This is
final
the
artist.
first annual Las Cositas Literary Arts Festival, and this is the
Digital.
final Slam artist of the night. So give all the energy, all the love to Nazareth.
I think the worst imperfection of all is trying too hard to be perfect. I think the worst kind of blame to feel is blame that can only be directed at yourself. And I think the worst thing ever is having both of these things occur at once. When you try your best to save something, but in the end, you're still blamed for ruining it. These create a poisonous cocktail, misunderstanding. It doesn't simply break your heart. Instead, it slowly burns and dissolves until an empty hole remains in your chest. For a person who wishes to meet and know every soul, it deeply hurts me when I see the people I once loved that have now moved on, the bridges I once had that no longer stand, and the separation of paths that once beautifully merged as one. People like me who choose to love unconditionally experience nostalgia with a crushing intensity. Don't spend your life trying to find a lover. Learn to fall in love with life instead. Nature walks, cotton candy, cats and dogs, love it all, because once you begin to truly smile, you will become irresistible. You can't give love if your own heart is empty. True love shines from within. Self-love makes life worth living. Youth has no age. Dance proudly in the rain. Make the thunderstorms of your life a mighty parade. Thank you.
Give it up one more time for the final slam artist of the night, y'all, Miss Nesrin. Oh my goodness. Y'all make it hard for these judges. Judges, it shouldn't be hard. It should be hard.
It should be hard.
It should be really hard.
We don't care about the scores.
We care about the scores.
We need the scores.
They need the scores.
This is all about the arts. We came for the poetry.
All right.
Don't
I'm
say
like,
the scores.
okay, I'm looking. I see. There we go with our first score. And there's our second.
That's 2 out of 5, y'all. Well, there's our
Our
third. Okay.
And
We just need 2 more. 2 more. Run it
I'm
up.
scrolling,
Run it up.
I'm scrolling. There's our
There's
fourth.
the fourth. Now you know you're the last one. You know it's you. You know you want to give it to us. Tell us.
Oh, there's our fifth score.
Woo!
Can I
I
announce
saw
something?
that. You could spill it all.
Can I announce something again?
Oh my gosh.
Because we got to make sure that we respect the artist and the art. Nesrin got 3 10s also. She got 3 10s also.
Very exciting.
But now y'all making all this ad and hard for me, right?
It's very. It's
I gotta
simple.
drop that
It's
low, right?
increments of 10.
Drop that low.
See what happens when you get 10s. Keep it high. No,
Drop that
we're
high.
gonna
I gotta drop it. I gotta drop it.
Keep everything in the middle.
But darn it if she didn't just make it that much harder. Because Nesrin got a 29.5, y'all. Oh my goodness.
Oh,
We're not even, we're gonna look like this right here.
ooh. She's gonna do that. I'm
I'm
gonna
gonna do
give
that.
y'all the face.
Because that was a 29.5. And guess what? We're not about to tell y'all who
That
won
just
yet.
made us
Not
laugh.
yet. We're gonna tell you who won in just a moment.
That just made us
Because
laugh.
I gotta add all this up real quick. And I'll do that in a moment. While I am finishing my final ask, because we want to make sure we don't make any mistakes or anything.
None.
Make sure that we show, as I said, our appreciation, our love, for everybody who competed tonight. Because it's not easy. Y'all did it. It's not easy. So I want to clap it up for the judges. Show all the love to the judges who had absolutely no idea when they signed up to attend this slam that they were going to have to go to work. I
Right?
appreciate y'all, not monetarily, but verbally. I appreciate you all. Toby does too, I know. Toby is going to actually give her final words and say the things she needs to say right now while I finish this tallying and announce the top 3 scores of the slam. So you take it away, Toby.
Woo, thanks guys. Gosh, hard to follow up all this awesome, powerful stuff. But, it's making me think of what Emily Dickinson said about poetry, which is something like, I'm paraphrasing, but something like, if I feel like the top of my head has physically been removed, then I know that was poetry. So that's how it's been tonight here, guys. Thank you all so much for coming and for hanging in till after hours even. You are getting in on the ground floor of our first ever LPC Literary Arts Festival. So that is so exciting. I'm throwing a little survey in the chat box here, whether you've been to several events today or whether this was the only one you came to. It'll really help us out a lot for the next go round, right? For the non-inaugural Literary Arts Fest next year that we're hoping to do. If you can let us know how your experience was, just it's a 1-minute survey there. If you can click on that link. And I just want to say thank you to a few folks here while we're waiting for the score tally. First of all, before I even get to the thank yous, just to say for a moment, We sold over 1,000 free tickets today to this event. Okay, our first ever Literary Arts Fest, 1,000 tickets, yeah. And we had 18 amazing poets and performers coming to present and host and sit on panels. So it's just been an epic day, really fantastic celebration of literary arts. I've hosted the slam here, like Bree said, since 2003, the last 4 or 5 years with these guys as hosts, Bree and Tree. So of course, we were all heartbroken last year. Everybody was. We all had to pivot. So thank you for pivoting with us. Thank you, performers, for your bravery tonight, both sacrificial and competitors, for putting your words and your art out there. And thank you, judges. I think the judges, the most underappreciated job of all, one of the hardest, and audience for being here, listening, and giving your support. For the festival in general, I just want to say a quick thank you to some folks. Rivka Several, I think she's still with us tonight, our total organizational Yoda for this festival. Monetary Yoda, I was calling her, but then I was like, no, she's every kind of Yoda. Amy Matern, our dean, has been unflinchingly supportive through the entire process, and she's still here tonight in the sunset hour with us. So thank you to Amy. Christine Hornbaker, the IT support. She's been our live stream guru as well all day. Liz McWhorter for publicity. Stella and Megan from our own English department have been invaluable as well. And finally, of course, I have to thank our sponsors. City of Livermore Arts Commission made this possible. The LPC Foundation made this possible. The Dale and Ted Grant and the Don Milanese Family Gift Fund all made this possible, as well as donations from folks attending, folks like you. And from what I understand, the donate button is still active in our Eventbrite for, I don't know, but a little while longer. So if you're feeling the love, please head on over and click on the donate. One more day. Thanks, Richard. I was hoping somebody knew. One more day there. And finally, the biggest thanks that I can't forget, my hardest fist bumps and elbow bumps to Richard Dry and Marty Nash, co-organizers of the Lit Fest. We've been working on this since summer of 2019, and I couldn't ask for just a more awesome pair of guys to be putting this together with. So oh my God, I'm going to get a little verklempt. Okay, but anyway, so I'm gonna wrap that up then. I think I said everything I need to say. You got the survey, you know where to donate. Let's take it back for the big reveal and find out what's happening with all this cash we got to get rid of.
After we give a big round of applause for Toby Bulowski. Thank you so much, Toby, for everything you've done. So much work. So much time, so much energy. Thank you so much.
It's all worth it tonight. It's been a pleasure. It really is.
Toby, I told you before, like this whole humility in the form of greatness is hypocrisy. And you have shown us not only how to be great, but how to continue this greatness on and pay it forward. So Trace and I thank you just off top.
Thank you.
Right.
Every opportunity to connect.
Every spring when I know I get to get you.
You already know. She's like, so.
Here they come. So thank you so much. You guys are a joy to work with.
Thank you very much.
They've
been waiting.
They deserve it.
You guys have been waiting.
This is what you came for.
So this is how it's gonna go. Whew.
This
is hard. Oh my goodness. I've been over here sweating, adding things up 3, 4, and 5 times.
Let me just say, this has been really one of the most closely run, phenomenally executed as far as the wordplay and just organically driven slams that I've gotten to be a part of. And as a poet, that's the stuff that we are here for. That's salt of the earth. And so you guys are tender on my heart. Let's get these scores because you deserve it. This has been some real slam poetry. If you didn't call yourself a poet after this and you competed, change your mind.
There you go. We are going to announce the top 3 scores, which means 2 people did not advance to the winning 3. That is okay though, because we got prizes for those 2 people. Huh? So if you are not in the top 3, you're one of the 2 others that still competed, and your cumulative score didn't fall in the top 3, then you will automatically receive a spot next year in
That's right.
the slam for Las Positas. You are automatically
spot is
in. The
booked.
spot is booked for you. So 2 spots will be taken off top for the 2 people that did not make it to the top 3. And I think that's pretty dope.
I think that's a pretty dope opportunity.
Honestly.
Yes.
As you can see, these prizes increase every year.
That's right.
So
we got stuff.
just consider yourself honored. But we're going to these top 3.
And we got a little something too for everybody who was here in the slam. We had something that we're giving everybody who was in the workshop.
We're gonna give it to
so
people
everybody in the
also.
slam can get it too. So you'll get a little something for yourself
In your
to
email.
continue to channel that inner writer in your email.
There we go.
And then now we got some people getting money though. Who getting money?
Let's start with 3rd place. 3rd place.
3rd place.
3rd place with the cumulative score. Remember now, this is out of 60 points because we added the scores together from the 1st and 2nd rounds. So in 3rd place, with a cumulative score of 54 out of 60 points, please give it up for
Carrie Ann.
Carrie Ann, you will be receiving the prize of $40.
Just for participating.
Just
and
for you,
contributing.
for
Thank
winning
you.
that 3rd place. Right?
Hello,
There
for
we
some
go.
pajamas.
There you go. And you send your emails in the chat. You can send them directly to Toby as well, actually, so that you get your money to you.
There you
Kinda
go.
helpful.
There you go.
You don't send your email, you don't get the money. Teresa and I get gas, Starbucks, and dinner. So we want to make sure you get your
Yeah,
money.
and we're probably not going to get that. It just would be sitting there waiting for
I
you.
know.
So get it and make us happy and go get your gas.
You know who else is gonna get it?
Who else going to get it?
2nd place.
2nd place. Ooh, out of 60 points.
When we tell you guys how hard
This is close.
Woo!
Like
With a total,
like close.
like total cumulative score of 56.50
Come on.
out of 60 points.
Super close.
Give it up for Chelsea. You, my dear, have won a grand prize of $60 for spilling your soul. Thank you,
Oh,
VLC. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
And I always said it was close.
It was
right?
really close. It was close.
When we
like-
say close, we mean between 1st and 2nd. Oh wait. am I
It was
frozen?
close
I'm
like
frozen.
the
Hold
L's
on.
and llama.
Hold on, I think I'm frozen. I was frozen. I am frozen. Hold on. Woo, I was frozen.
We
oh my
were
goodness.
frozen,
I'm
and now
sorry.
we're
I don't know what
moving.
happened. Woo. I was.
That can't
My heart
happen.
started beating fast. Okay.
But we said the score.
You
was
guys heard
close.
the 2nd place winner, right?
Did
You guys
hear
got that?
Did you hear the 2nd place winner?
The 2nd place you did. Oh, Toby said no. Toby, yes, you did.
But this is close because it's close like the L's and llama close.
Well, I like that.
It was close.
I like that,
It
Trees.
was close.
1st place. Nope. 2nd place, we told you guys.
We told
with
you
the
who it
cumulative score of 56.50. That was the 1st place
Ooh.
with a cumulative score of
56.
56.75 out of 60. Give it up for Nazareth! Woo! Oh my goodness, Nesmond gets a grand prize of $100. Tell you, I counted that score about 17 and a half times
We were like, really?
to make sure.
It's so close.
I know. And VLC, I was praying you didn't go over that 3-minute time limit on that 2nd form. I was looking like,
Oh my gosh. It was
I hope
right
you
there.
stopped. You were
2
right
minutes
there.
and 51 seconds.
and everyone, 15% of all of the gratitude, not gratuity.
All of the gratitude. You guys can get 15% of all of the gratitude straight to the judges
They
right
get
now.
100% of the gratitude.
No
right now,
app
as far as
needed.
we
You can
feel.
get it through the Zoom.
Oh, thank you guys so very much. As we mentioned, our honorable mention / you get a guaranteed spot in next year's Slam at Las Cositas goes to Marie Ann and Bavia. Thank you guys so very, very, very much. You guys were incredible. And this is the thing about Slam. We add these points, we drop in scores, we're adding things, we take, and you guys still emerged as artists.
That's right.
We appreciate y'all. You guys were awesome.
You're phenomenal.
There you go. You guys have a survey you need to make sure you fill out for. Yes, look at I love it. Yes. You want to start it? You want to start it? You want to start it right?
Get with me. Graphics. If you do other graphics, we
Green
can
Tree
have
Fan
a
Club,
club.
she said. I love it. You know what?
Make a shirt, get a club, then it's real. We don't know.
We are artists
Well, if you guys want a little bit more of the Bree and Tree show, we
I
are
love
poets.
the candy. I don't want them to feel like they have.
Well, you
It is
have to.
So the slam is over.
It's over.
We
But we're here.
we need you to get that survey.
Please do the survey.
Richard posted the link again in here, so we need
Like
the survey.
Primo, creme de la creme, top of the line.
Like maybe we
priority.
might not be invited back if y'all don't do the survey.
Like, so do the survey.
So do the survey.
Just fill it out. And then.
So now I know we're over time, which is why officially the slam is over.
Technically.
So like technically we can say, woo, we did it, we made it through, we did.
But
However,
artistically,
we're
still here.
We artists.
We each got a poem.
And so you guys can leave. You are well within. We will not feel badly. We understand everybody
We
has
understand.
families, things to do. We will not take much of your time, but we're each going to quickly perform. You can leave if so, if you need to, if you want to. Totally understand. And Toby's just gonna take the hit for us going over right now.
We make trouble. She backs us up.
Happy Mother's Day to all of you who are
Happy Mother's Day.
mothers or mothering anyone. It's not easy whether you had a child, or raising a child, or wish you were one again.
That's right. That's
Celebrate you guys tomorrow. So I'm gonna stay here and hear you. You like that?
I'm gonna stay.
You got?
I'm staying here to hear you too.
You gonna perform?
Well, you
perform,
gonna go first.
and
I'm
we
gonna go
throw
first.
it?
We both gonna
Go.
I can. Don't move. Okay.
Guys, I've gotten one message of an email for winner's email address for Nez, but I think we've got, you know what? It's all good because Bialcia and Carrie Ann, I can catch you guys in class, so no worries.
Those 3 winners, send your email addresses to Ms. Toby, please, so we don't take your money. Please. And without further ado, we're not even gonna do bios. We just
No, all that doesn't matter.
Y'all
This
fine.
is,
We're Googleable, right? We're Googleable.
It doesn't matter. This is a piece that I wrote for a book that is coming out end of the year, and I'm going to read it for you.
Give it up real loud and proud, please, from my co-host, my ace, my right hand, Natree.
The closet in the living room held more secrets than the vault at the CIA. The crevices of the inside corners doubling as a hidden escape. 2 metal rods reserved to hang up fears. A shelf of shame to stow away dirty little memories. 3 feet wide with trauma, 4 feet long with history. Doors creaking at hinges from being full to all 5.5 feet tall of capacity. The place where a girl packed away the tumultuous and contradicting pieces of her life. She'd spent years tucking away lies and undisclosed truths. Stashing visions of nightmares relived time and again, but never once told, until she was up to her ears in shame, broken to her core by disappointment, trapped inside of herself with the reality she actually wasn't crazy. Decoding confidential intelligence behind the toxicity she had normalized. Sitting inside the same spot as the first and 10th attack on her sanity, rocking back and forth, going nowhere, she sat crisscrossed. Behind the locked doors of her memoirs in meditation for some sort of divine imminence, recounting the numerous occasions of questioning her worth after being robbed of priceless innocence, she found herself. Tracing random claw grooves from nails prying wood in hopes of freeing the prisoner of the wars on her body that the world would never be privy to. And because systems are designed to carry one thing to the next, it was all instinctual, from the falling of the tears to the heavy breathing in her chest. Weighted with the heaviness of healing, each droplet was a marker of how much of her own reality she could process in one day. How much of her heart had succumbed to the demise in the fray. Linked closets with doors that lock when there's nothing obstructing the walkway. See, the puddle of tears for her fears, softening fallow grounds of old burial sites where blood spatter still lays. Cadavers from past lives each time she fought to revive herself after the massacre of her self-worth. She sat on the graveyard of her dreams as if the only place she could find hope was where she'd once gone to bury the hurt, because closets don't tell secrets. And they don't get up and walk away in the aftermath of war. They hold trauma like treasury notes guarded behind gated, vaulted doors, allowing every other room in the house to seem clean and be free of tarnish. See, even the dirtiest of houses has a designation for each and every one of its stains. Many rooms in a mansion may have stipulations, but the closets never refrain. And while it seems symphonic, walk-in closet will provide a broken girl a sense of solace. The emptiness of the space is also symbolic of how we sit in a million of rooms amongst familiar faces, never once admitting that we feel alienated. This girl knows authentic joy can never be imitated. So all the while she fights not to come unhinged. In a world of crazy screws, missing bolts, and crazy nuts, without complaining that this is all too much, since hearts don't have doors, don't have wishful eyes, hoping to escape distrustful minds in hopes of the solace inside of a space where the truth exists outside of struggle and love never lies. So she has nothing to close, to hide behind, to lock away and separate. That part of her that was septic from the part of her that she was able to save. She's fighting to keep her head on straight in a country that tried to make her insane, envisioning a life that exists outside of eyes that only see her war wounds as a symbol of strength, instead of a cry for escape. Never once, she's never unpacked and unraveled the years of abuse and miseducation. Perhaps she's coming into her own light now and she just needs space to be accepted, understood, or just feel safe. Safe enough and free enough to be happy, hurt, or angry. But instead of explaining, she packs away what she really means and simply says, I'm not crazy.
Well, I have no words. You do this. I'm just gonna perform.
The dog and the applause was everything because my dog always loves to get in my videos when I'm practicing.
You always like to set me up.
No.
Oh,
I
it's a
learned
good
how to
thing
do
we're
this
not
from
competing.
you. Well, they're gonna see why you do this in a minute because you're just so
I know
funny.
not what you speak up. Clap it up one more time, please, from the tree, y'all.
Thank you, guys.
Oh man.
Fantastic!
I love it. Richard is dope.
Richard.
Oh man. Whew, okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. See, the one thing about being a writer, but also being a performer, is that you can pivot. And it's not about changing what you're prepared to do based on what someone else does, but it's about the feeling that that person may invoke in you to make you switch up what you thought you were going to be comfortable doing and decide to leave that comfort zone and do what needs to be done. They say the poet doesn't choose the poem. The poem chooses the poet. So that's where I'm going with this. And I don't intro my pieces, but I'm not slamming. May is hard for me. May is ugly for me. May 16th, 2016, I lost my grandmother unexpectedly. Last year, I lost 3 loved ones in May. One was like an aunt to me. One was one of my closest friends. The other was my very best friend. And it all happened in the month of May. The pandemic was ugly. And yet none of them died from COVID. So it's a reminder that nothing, as we know, nothing is promised and all of that. But it's also, we need to stop waiting to say the things that we find ourselves saying after the fact when they're no longer here to hear them. So that's where I'm going with that. People talk about the feeling of their heart dropping into the pit of their stomach. Like it's one of those things you have to experience for yourself. You know, one of those things you need to feel so you can actually get it. They say it like it's indescribable. Well, the notion used to intrigue me, pique my curiosity, made me picture a pulsating mass of raw emotion perched on the edges of one's fingertips, arm outstretched, raised high above one's head as if to display a prize, and then in the blink of an eye, it slips between fingertips, plummets to its demise. Perhaps I just have an overly active imagination, but it's the best way I can explain such a feeling, from tangible to invisible, substantial to weightless, living to dying, no longer existing. Nothing more than an already distant memory. I no longer wonder how to put this feeling into words. See, it has taken up residence inside me, torn through all 4 chambers, turning my warm blood corpse cold, ripped open my diaphragm, rendering me speechless. It has settled like a boulder of dread in the lowest part of my abdomen. It is unmoving, almost daring me to shift positions, daring me to move and try to find comfort. There is no comfort for me anymore. Not since I stared at the computer screen in the middle of a deserted ICU hallway on the 6th floor of Alta Bates Hospital. A whisper away from the 3 generations of face-on blood, too controlled to know how to lose it, too off-kilter to know how to keep it together. So close to my sister, I could feel the stiffness of her spine without touching her, yet so far I could watch her swallow her fear. See, the doctor said it was a hemorrhagic stroke in the cerebellum, but in layman's terms, that really means a bloody stroke in her little brain. Pointed and explained like this was a college-level PowerPoint presentation, how my grandmother's brain was filling with blood too fast to soak it up, but he was speaking too fast for me to soak it up. My tears betrayed me too fast for me to soak them up. At this moment, it was clear to me just how empty a whole person can become. In a split second, that blink of an eye, she's never gonna blink an eye again, ever. Like never in life will her brain instruct her lid to open, close, and open once more. Didn't get to appreciate hers while they were still her soul's windows. I didn't even take the leftover fajitas in the plastic bag on the back seat of my car like my mom asked me to. Hell, I was supposed to drop them off that afternoon. She didn't make it to the afternoon. I didn't make it that afternoon. Didn't even have a chance to joke with her that the nausea and dizziness she called my mom complaining about that morning was probably just something she had eaten gone bad, and it probably just gave her gas like always. And yes, fine, I'll go get her some more Imodium AD immediately, like always. Generic though, because that brand name shit was way too costly, she said. This was always happening. So I never took her moans and groans seriously. I didn't get to tell her that I wasn't mad anymore. I wasn't irritated. I wasn't tired of her indefinitely. Last week, I just needed a break. A reprieve from the errands and the requests and the transporting and the last-minute emergency trips to the 7-Eleven 2 doors down from her residence just to get her money out of the ATM since she couldn't remember how to type that damn PIN number in on any given day. But y'all, she will remember how to recall which one of those peasants she let hang around her owed her favors on any given day. I just want to hear her fuss and complain and lament about all her aches and pains that were never as serious as she made them out to be. So I could say, come on now, grandmommy, you know you need to quit acting all old and feeble just one more time. Tell her one more time how everything that should have killed her long ago never did. So it never will. But sure, I'll go ahead and play along with the whole grandmommy is not well shtick. Maybe then the more anvil than pebble will lift. And my diaphragm will close back up and my ability to speak will return and my slippery heart will wiggle its way backwards through the 4 chambers and settle in place as though someone pressed delete on this entire ordeal. Pressed erase so that the horrific ending will end up being no more than a few pages in an amateur screenplay that was never actually chosen to be filmed. And then I could pick up the phone, y'all. I could pick up the phone and tell her that I get her, that I understand her, that I appreciate her, that I more than love her. Ask her to act as though the 6 days of silence that passed between us since our last conversation were more pause than stop, more on hold than disconnected, more good night than goodbye, but the world doesn't go in reverse. And time stops for no one. But now I finally know what they mean when they talk about that feeling of hearts, stomachs. Thank you, guys. Nice. They say make your pain pay. This is not what it's about for us right now, right here. I say that for slams I compete in. But I had to pivot. And I had to do that because I have to, as my mother said, stop blaming myself at some point for what I didn't do and what I didn't say. And the only way for me to do that is by saying it now and then setting it aside. But as Mother's Day approaches, and as the 16th approaches, and as all these 16s, I need to find out some numerology or something, because she passed in room 16 at 8:16 on 5/16/2016. Kind of creepy if you ask me, but she would appreciate me finding out what the heck that meant, and if it was a lottery number for me to go play it.
Well, 16 is a
because that
number
means
of,
something.
16 is a number of completion when you break it down to a powerful number, which is a number of 7. And
Which is
7
6
is a
and 1.
number of
1, 6.
completion is 6 and 1.
There we
So
go.
it's just telling you that all the work she said to do is done, and whatever those other numbers mean is probably indicative of work that you need to do or whoever else. But she's
You're right. It's the imperfections and the imperfect people that are always, always the ones we miss the most.
yeah, that's why you take the highs, you take the lows, throw them away, and keep everything in between. And then you'll have people like Breeze Granny who matter and never ever are forgotten. So with that being said, you guys make your footprints matter by writing, by talking, by being present, by loving people. Even if you never wrote a poem, you might be a poem for somebody else just by the way you treat them. So be careful and be cautious, because we are all human. And the greatest, most absolute powerful thing we can ever do is to inspire another being. You guys have inspired me to keep writing. You've inspired me to keep going. I hope you've inspired yourself to keep showing up and keep getting together. Y'all are amazing. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you guys so very much. That's it. That's all. Toby, you're awesome. Everybody that stayed tonight and listened to us. Thank you.
Thank you guys.
Still here, so that's what these words can do. That's the power they have.
That is it. So I appreciate you all. And we're good to go.
We
kept
are
them
good
for a
to
long time.
go.
We've been talking and talking and talking.
We're gonna let you guys get to your Saturday. Toby, keep in touch. You guys keep in touch, and we will see you soon.
And I know a couple people were trying to connect with other artists that had competed. So we're gonna step out. If you guys are able to exchange, email addresses or contact information or anything, then please do so. I'm gonna put my email here in the chat as well, so that you guys.
I'm dropping mine. Keep
You
in
drop
touch,
yours, I
everybody.
drop mine.
And I was going to suggest, I saw that note too. I was going to suggest that we stop recording, and that those who want to leave, I know I need to go to sleep. If those people who need to go can go, and